Hello, check. Audio check. One, two, three. Audio check, check. One, two, three. All right. Hey, CJ, how does that sound, bud? Good evening, everybody. We're trying out a different angle here. Thank you, CJ. Whoa. All right, folks, don't forget to share this live with everybody. I sure would appreciate it. Audio check. One, two. All right, CJ got the number one gift badge. Well, folks, let's get this party started. What do you say? All right, we're back. All right, guys, so we do these lives to help out with radio antenna questions or just general chat. Thank you, CJ, sending me some confetti. All right, TikTok just reminded me to encourage my viewers to share this and like it. It helps with the algorithm. How is everyone doing tonight? All right, thank you for the share there, CJ. Appreciate it. So I tried hooking up that tablet, but I couldn't get it to connect to this mixer. I don't know if there's a setting in the tablet, so I'm just stuck using my phone for now. Yeah, I got a I don't know. You might know more about that than me, but we'll get her figured out. I I don't know. You might know more about that than me, but we'll get her figured out. Hey, Chicken Hawk, what's going on, man? How you doing? Jeff? Hey, Chicken Hawk, what's going on, man? How you doing? Jeff Copeland, what's going on, my friend? Oh, very cool, CJ. Oh, not much, Chicken Hawk. How you doing, man? I got this new mount and this new tablet, but I couldn't figure out it wouldn't hook up to my G10 mixer, so we're stuck doing it this way. Hey, Chicken Hawk, thanks for the heart, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for all the likes, all the shares. Let's get this party started. Got the big Astron up there. Got the meter lit up. Thomas Cox, what's going on, man? How are you tonight? Mr. 307 Amps is in the house. Now, guys, this is what this live is going to be about tonight. So, I don't know if I should say too much, but 307, if you want to join, send me a request and we'll talk about it. Let's bring everybody up to speed. Yeah, I had the GMRS on too. I was listening to the net. Kind of funny. They were talking about how far apart you got to have your antennas with two different radios. Like it really doesn't matter that much. On my truck, they're a foot and a half apart. All right, what's going on, my friend? Oh, that's okay, man. We're going to be on here for a while, Jim. And when you're ready, just send me a request. Uh, is it okay if I talk about it a little bit? Are you okay with that? What's going on, Zach?
What's up, man?
Well, I got some good news for everybody tonight. See there in the comments, 307 amps, 307 amps. I talked to him for a while today on the phone, and he's going to start building amps for the shop.
Hey, Corey.
Hey, Zach, did you hear that?
No.
So 307 amps there in the comments. That's Jim. He's going to start building amplifiers for the shop.
Really?
Yeah, we're going to do some pretty cool custom stuff, man. So found a guy that's going to build a custom aluminum cases. My friend has got a laser engraver, and I do uh, paint and pinstriping. So we're going to build some really nice custom boxes.
Be perfect.
Yeah, I think that's going to be pretty cool.
Hey there, everybody.
CJ.
Hey,
What's going
what's
on?
up?
So I
So, no,
might I
guys.
might cut in and out. My
Yeah.
my service out here is absolutely horrible. They need about 5 more cell towers.
Oh, that's okay, man.
So
Sounds like
if I
Corona.
if I if I ask what was said, just know I lost you for a second. But if anything, it might just kick me out. So,
Oh no, that's no problem, man.
but I'll be
All right.
back on the road in the morning, so I'll be on for your morning live for sure.
Awesome, man. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so 307 amps. We're going to start building custom amps for the shop. I ordered some today, and we're going to get that ball rolling. So I'm really excited about that.
That'll be cool when they're done.
Yeah, I think so too. So guys, real quick, don't forget to like this live and share it with your friends. That helps with the algorithm. Let's have a big party tonight. And so, guys, what do you think about this view? Is this view okay, or did you like the other view better? I don't know.
I mean, really, either one's cool. This way, people can actually see what you're running
Yeah, and it's
and see
actually
what.
easier for me to read the comments.
Right, and people can see what channel you're on. So if you're talking, they can go ahead and go straight to that channel.
Oh, yeah, good idea.
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
No
Anybody
problem,
want to
man.
buy? Anybody want to buy a Uniden? I do not like that radio at all.
Why?
I can't get any talkback off of it, dude. I messed with it for an hour and a half, and I can't figure out talkback settings on it. There's no
Well,
echo switch. There's no
yeah,
talkback switch.
that radio never came with talkback, so someone had to add that.
Right, and I'm just not a big fan of it. To be honest with you, I probably end up getting rid of it, trying to get something different.
Yeah, well, instead of playing with all those little boys, man, we'll build you a radio.
Right? An actual
That's what I-
radio.
That's what I want.
Yeah, we can build
But
you something nice. You put
my
that
manager,
Galaxy 94 in there, dude. Ooh.
well, my manager, I don't think she'd like that too much.
Why not?
We'll just say she's on the tight side. She's a great manager, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, she thinks if the CB works, cuts on, I can hear and I can get out, she thinks that's good enough.
Well, then maybe we have to educate her about radios.
I've tried. She's got one of those.
I think we do.
Go ahead, Zach.
She's got one of those minds that works where you explain it to her once or twice, you show her, then you get her to try to do it a couple days later, and she's completely lost.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of a goner. But I told her my plan is, I got that 33. I'm going to keep it in my truck and try and get rid of those two Cobras. And I'm honestly going to try and get rid of those two Cobras and that Uniden for that 929 that guy's got down the road from me at that CB shop. And then try and squeeze an amp out of them as well and just run that. And then send this 33 off to somebody. Maybe send it to you or something.
Well, yeah, you could do that or sell those radios, and we'll put a nice striker in there, man, and we'll get you a 307 built amp.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a
And
striker in there, as a matter of fact, but he wanted way too much for that thing. It was a 447, and I asked him, it was used, it came with the box and the whole nine, and I was like, what do you want for the striker? Money's not really an issue, but I ain't looking to spend $600-700. He was like, yeah, I got it priced at $450. I was like, $450?
dude, I sell that radio brand spanking new with my tune-up on it for $365.
Exactly. Yeah, dude. He was like, yeah, $450 peak tune, a whole nine. I'll turn it up for you and everything. And I was like, yeah, $450 is a little steep. I can get that radio brand new for cheaper than that.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, I don't know. He's old. He's an older guy. I ain't got nothing against older people. I like to take in knowledge from older people, but he was one of those thinks his feces don't stink, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, that right there tells me all I need to know about him. If he's ripping people off like that, because, dude, he can go on the internet, he can look up anyone's website and see what they're going for, and that's $100 more than everybody else.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So he's just ripping people off. So that tells me all I need to know about him. I would just sell those radios you got. Let me know what you want. I'll build you a nice radio. You want an amp? Jim will build you a nice 307 built 2-pill. That's all you need, dude.
I'm sure we can work out something up. Might have an answer.
What is the fascination with the Striker radios? I never did get into those.
Striker radios, they have basically what's called a built-in modulator, and that's what gives you that nice, smoothie silk but booming audio. And you match that with a Ranger mic on it, and it really, really sounds nice. Crystal clear.
I get that part,
Um,
but most everybody I hear talking on Strikers got them so far over modulated and distorted they sound like hell.
yep,
That's just
and
because
you're
they don't know what
exactly
they're
right.
doing.
Yep, you're exactly right. I agree with you 100%. Here's a couple reasons why. First of all, they use the wrong microphone. If you run a Road King or if you run an static mic, it's got the wrong impedance built in the mic. The Ranger mics are, I think, 200 ohm impedance. That's one reason why they sound nice. The other reason why that they sound that way is there's a lot of CB shops around town that says, "Oh yeah, turn your mic gain all the way up," and you never do that. Mic gain is about 1 o'clock on those radios. Mic gain does not make you louder. What mic gain does, it makes the microphone pick up more sound.
Right.
When you pass that sweet spot, now the microphone is picking up more sound than the radio can process, and that's why you sound bad.
Oh, dude, most of them, believe me, they sound like absolute hell. I can't stand it.
Well,
Yeah,
a lot of people don't know how to run radios. Here's another great example: squelch and RF gain. People turn the gain all the way up, and then they squelch it out, and that's just like holding the brake and giving it gas.
Oh, absolutely.
So, yeah, so I tell people just turn your squelch off all the way to the left. Make sure that your noise blanketer is on, all that stuff. And then you control your background noise with the RF gain.
Right. See, I don't know. I always kept it real simple with my CB radios. You know, I either run a Connex 3300 high power or I run an RCI 2950. And between the two of them, I've never had an issue.
Yeah, no, both good radios, man. The newer Connexes aren't that good. There's a lot of solder joint issues, but the old 3300s, the old General Lees, and definitely any RCI radio is good.
Now, I run the Connex 33 that I have is the first gen with the side mic when they first started doing the dual finals.
Perfect. That radio has a really good board in it. That radio,
Oh,
tuned
yeah, it's
properly, should
incredible.
swing to about 75 watts. The new ones do 40. And it's just not the same radio, man.
I don't swing it that hard. I don't want to drive the finals that hard. I keep that thing on the bird watt meter. I'm only pushing about 12 watts on the bird watt. On the RF meter, I'm only swinging about 35.
Perfect. But see, the main thing, and this is what people don't understand, you're doing it perfect. So everyone wants power, 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 power. Well, clear audio will travel further than power.
Exactly.
So here's the deal. If you and I are 50 miles apart or whatever, and if I say something to you and you barely heard me, you still heard me. And that's all that matters.
Exactly. And I tell everybody it's like this. Listen to FM. FM is frequency modulated, you know. You don't need a lot of power to drive an FM signal. It translates into AM also. Only difference is on the AM side, you need that power to get the signal to go across, but you don't need all that extra modulation and crap you put in behind it. Keep a balanced modulation, clean,
right.
clear audio, and bump in the back end with a couple 2950 or 2990 Toshiba pills, and you're set.
Yep, I agree 100%. Here's the thing with,
I'm a
with
radio head
microphones,
from way
radios,
back in the
antennas. Yeah, I understand that. I started in 1986 myself. I love it. So, here's the thing with radios. Everything is math. Everything is numbers. You got to make the numbers match. And if you do something not right, whatever the numbers are, that's what it's going to be. So it's just like building a motor. You can't put a 1071 blower on a stock 350 Chevrolet. You're going to kick the rods out of it, right? You got to build the motor. Everything's got to match. So it's the same with a radio. Everything's got to match. And a lot of the YouTube technicians that we have around the country, the first thing they do is they turn everything up all the way.
You mean the Golden Screwdriver Squad?
Yeah, I had a smart ass a couple of years ago because, "Are you a golden screwdriver?" And I said, "No, sir. All mine are blue."
That's
I
good.
told him I got silver. I only took second place.
That's right. All right, man. Look at CJ's.
I used to build radios and peak and tune and all that stuff. I built 3 different linears.
Sure.
I got out of it. I started broadcasting on FM, and AM's kind of gone to the wayside.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, whatever makes you happy. And this is. I'm glad you said that. So here's another good subject when it comes to radio, because we do ham, GMRS, CBs, we do everything, right? But one reason why I don't really get into the ham side of it is it's no fun.
No, dude, the sad hams take all the fun right out of it. That's why I stay in GMRS.
Yes. Yep. And that the whole point of radio is fun. I don't give a damn what radio you have, what amp you have, what antenna you have. If you're having fun, you're gonna be on the radio, and that's what makes it fun.
Like Jay's talking and Wolfman's talking about GMRS. Here's one of the videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So blades and all that stuff. So he really needs communication. So we do all of his work, whether it's GMRS, CB, whatever, and blades and all that stuff. So he really needs communication. So we do all of his work, whether it's GMRS, CB, whatever, and well, you can tell him, CJ. What do you think?
And excuse me, without it, moving stuff isn't possible. Excuse
Oh,
me.
absolutely. I used to work on the windmill section back when I was over the road. I hauled the lower mid sections on the tires.
That's what I just got finished steering tonight. Was a midsection out to Corona, New Mexico from Abilene. And when we're on the road, we use CB. When we get onto the job site and we need more private channels, we'll switch over to our private radios, either this one or we use Kenwood Motorola. This one was actually put to test today, and the driver I bought some from Wolfman here. He was impressed.
Which radio was that?
This is the Wooson.
Wooson's? Okay.
Yeah,
I'll tell you
the
what.
Wooson
If you don't want,
UV9P.
if you want, go ahead.
Yeah, it's the Wooson UV9P. It's a good radio.
Okay, yeah, I know about them. They're good radios. But what I was going to say is, if you want something that quality is comparable to the Wooson without the big price tag, look at the TID Radio H8 series. Those things are incredible.
Well, I've put those on a spectrum analyzer, and they're not very clean. Same with the Baofangs and the Retevis and all those radios. They, when I brought in the Wuxins, I did about 3 months of testing on one. I bought one myself, and I went through all those radios, and that was the only one that was clean on the spectrum analyzer, and it's got the super heterodyne chip in it. When I opened up the case, it's got the same board. I mean, exact same board as a Kenwood. But you're not paying for the Kenwood price.
I've got the Kenwood TK 3360s. And I mean, I use those on job sites and stuff. They're great radios.
We can barely hear you, man. Get closer to your phone.
Oh, my bad. How's that? Is that better?
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, thank you, sir.
Okay, sorry. I'm trying to make a delivery here, so yeah, I was
No, you're good.
impeded for a moment. But no, I've got a couple of Kenwood radios. I run the TK 3360 series when I'm out on job sites working around other people for on-site communications. They work wonders.
Yeah, no, those are good radios. I did a test on the handheld there, the same radio that CJ's got, and I put the Nagoya 701 15.1 inch antenna on it, and I talked handheld to handheld 26 miles simplex. That's pretty dang impressive.
Oh, dude, that's actually really damn good for simplex.
Yeah, that's really good. And then I run the 980p quad band Wuxin mobile in my truck with the Comet SSB 15 tri-band antenna. I've talked 60 miles simplex over the Sandia Mountains to a guy in Rio Rancho on the other side of Albuquerque. And I've hit a
nice.
repeater with that radio at 100 miles. So yeah, that's one thing about my shop, man. I do my research before I bring in something new because I do not want to carry junk. It just makes me, the shop,
Right.
and everyone else look bad, you know.
Now, what's your opinion on the Anytone radios?
When Anytone first came out, they had a big issue with the transmit circuit. They were blowing finals right and left. Something wasn't right with them. But the same
Right.
thing though, you put them on a spectrum analyzer and they are dirty. I put one on a SA and that thing was transmitting on 8 frequencies. 2 were ham band.
Okay. Yeah, because I run two of them. I've got the Anytone Smart CB that I've converted for US bands, and I've also got
That's awesome,
the
Thomas.
Anytone. I've got the Anytone. I believe it's the 799 UV version mobile, and I've had no issues out of them. I've run these on my SA, and they're, of course, the one I've got, it's a little dirty, but it's not bad.
Yeah, that's good. See, this is what another thing I think a lot of people don't understand is, let's say you got a radio and it's transmitting on 5 frequencies and it's putting out 10 watts. Well, you're not putting out 10 watts on your channel. You got to divide that between the 5 frequencies, right? So,
Correct.
and that's why you're losing range and losing power. Another thing, a lot of these antennas, they're selling the. I checked. Oh my goodness, there's some fake Nagoyas out there that I found, and those TID antennas, all those stuff. You put them on a VNA, and good gravy, man. They are not. One was an 8.3 SWR. I was like, what? You
Yeah,
know,
I run on my mobile unit. I've got the Nagoya 72G
yeah,
magnet mount antenna.
Nagoyas are good.
Yeah, it's running about 1.2 backed up on that Anytone, and it seems to do an all right job.
Yeah, try the Comet 2x4. I put a
Okay.
2x4 on my wife's pickup, and she's got the same handheld as CJ, and all she does is take off her antenna and screw it into that little 2x4. And my shop is 16 miles from my house, and when I leave work, I holler at her on that radio, and we talk the whole way.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man.
Hey, all right,
I've been
Tom.
really impressed.
Yeah, my next project, I'm just getting into building antennas right now. I got me one of the nano antenna analyzers.
Yep.
I'm starting to work on a few different models. I got software on my laptop I can use to test different theories, different setups for like dipoles and stuff like that. And I got a couple antennas I'm working on right now. I'm trying to get them tuned to the right frequencies, but it's not as easy as I thought it'd be.
Yeah, there's a lot to it, and you know what? That's a lot of fun. But I want to just give you a little heads up. So when you're testing antennas with the Nano VNA, you can get a false reading, and I'll explain why. It's not putting enough power through the antenna. So once you get the antenna built and you think everything is perfect, put an inline SWR meter there and key up 50 watts through it and see what happens.
Yeah, that's the problem I've been having. According to the software on my computer, on my design, it's on the GMRS network. It should be running about a 1.3 to a 1.4. The Nano VNA, it's showing that it's at a 1.3, and when I hook it up to my radio is only doing 20 watts, but I'm actually hitting like 1.8, 1.9.
Yep. See, there you go. And it's just like putting an amplifier on a CB, right? You can have an antenna that's a 1.1, you're running a 40-watt Connex, blah, 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 blah. Then you put a 2 or a 4 pill on it, and boom, the SWRs shoot up. Well, yeah, you got to tune the antenna to the amp.
Correct.
So, I mean, the
Well,
Nano VNAs are good to get you a baseline, get you close, but you're just going to have to fine tune it with your radio, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
This is cool, guys. Let me take care of some housekeeping, guys. Thank you for all the likes and all the shares, all the gifts. I appreciate it. That helps pay for all this audio equipment. And I love doing these lives. I usually do a live in the morning before work and one when I get home. And I've just been having a blast. Matter of fact, I did one today at the shop. And we got 2 cameras at the shop. One faces me and one faces straight down on the workbench. So it's kind of cool.
Wolfman,
That
you
base
must try and
station
hit
you
a-
got on your background, is that the 2990?
2995 DX CF.
Okay, yeah. That thing's a beast.
Man, I love these
Yeah.
radios. They just came out with the new high power. It's 250 watts, man. This one does 150.
Yeah, going live with you at the shop today, that was actually fun and interesting.
Yeah, we had a good time. And yeah, I enjoy talking radio. I enjoy helping people most of all. And I bet you, on average, we sell about 150 to 200 radios a year up to Canada. And there's no radio shops in Canada. So those guys always call me. I help them tune their antennas over the phone, believe it or not. And they're happy. They're having fun. And that's the bottom line.
Hello,
All right. Well, let me ask you this back.
hello.
Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
Well, hello, just saying hi to everybody from we're here from Greeley, Colorado. Yep, this is 919. Blue
Hello.
Demon. How two nicknames? Blue Demon here in the United States and El Raton down in Mexico.
Nice. Hey, I wanted to ask you real quick. That guy up there. What's your real name?
Kenny.
Okay, Kenny. I'm Jason. Yeah. And
Yeah.
okay. Everyone, my handle.
Mine is
Wolfman.
Oscar.
Oscar. Well, they are
Yeah.
right on, Oscar.
Yeah.
So okay, Kenny, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Now I was going to ask you. I know on the Anytone, the GMRS radios, ham radios, they're pretty dirty. I was going to ask you if you had any experience with the Smart CB yet.
I have not. Have you?
Yes, I own one, and dude, I am impressed.
What do you like about it the most?
It's capable AM and FM. It's got multiple different frequency sets, and it's super compact, dude. It's like almost the size. It's a little bit bigger than the size of a pack of cigarettes.
Damn.
I have a
Yeah, I
Anytone.
mean, you don't. It's not a powerhouse by no means. You're only going to get about 4 to 6 watts out of it, no matter what you do.
Okay.
But the audio, the transmit on it is super, super clear.
Yeah.
And for no bigger than it is. I love it. It's one of my favorite CB radios.
Hey,
Is that
Kenny,
the
have you popped the hood on that thing yet and looked inside of it?
I have.
Is there any adjustment or is it all surface mount?
No, everything's surface mount. I've been told, I haven't got too deep into it yet myself. You can change out a couple of the limiters in it and push it up to about 10 watts, but I haven't got that far. Only thing I've done is popped a cover, converted it from UK to US, and called it quits.
Yeah. I don't know if I would do that. Those limiters are there for a reason, right? So,
Exactly.
yeah, I agree. That's one thing. I stopped modifying radios about 10 years ago. And the reason why is everyone that wanted a modded radio, I always tell them this, look, this is not good for it. It might last a year, it might last 10, I don't know. And then, a year or two go by and they come back and they go, hey, my radio quit. And I look at them and I go, yeah, remember the conversation we had?
Well, not just that. Well, you got these knuckleheads. They pull the chokes out of the center post of the coils.
Yep.
They take the coils, they spread them wide, and I'm like, dude, they're set like that for a reason.
Yeah.
The chokes are there for a reason. It's regulating and smoothing out the power coming off the transistor. It has to be there.
Yep.
I got a dumb question.
No, it's not
Go
a
ahead.
dumb question. Go right ahead.
Is that one of them $80 radios from Walmart?
The Anytone, no. You order them on the internet. I can get them on Amazon. They're about $60.
That smart radio, is that what
Radios?
you're talking about?
Anytone Smart CB, and you got to have a soldering iron and a little bit of technical knowledge to convert it from the UK bands over to the US bands.
No.
Yeah, there's a 4-position jumper set inside the radio. You got to solder in a jumper wire to get it to convert over to US band.
Yeah. I thought maybe you was talking about that $80 weight radio you can buy from Walmart.
Talking about the little handheld, like Midland looking dude.
No, it's a small dash mount radio, about the size of a pack of cigarettes.
Hey, Chris, how's it going?
Yeah, what's up, Chris?
No, I haven't seen that. The only other one I've seen that's comparable to the Anytone is I know Cobra just put one out.
Well, Kenny, let me ask you, have you tried the new president of Washington?
No, the last president of Washington I owned was a base station.
Well, I've got 2 of them. I got one here in the house and one in the car, and I love them both. And they do.
I don't know if I was going to run
Real
another
quick.
president, it'd have to be the 2510.
Well, I had one of them in my day too, but this new president of Washington that they just come
That's
out
awesome, Chris. Glad you're relaxing.
with, it does everything.
Mr. Wolfman, how's it going?
I'm not worried about all the bells
It's
and
going
whistles.
good.
Like I was
Hey, that guy.
talking to the
That guy.
host when I first came in, I'm all about clarity.
The guy.
It's pretty
Right.
clear.
Yes.
I mean, it's got the talk back and echo, but I've never turned it on. But I mean, it's got all kinds of settings, and you'll have to look it up and do a little studying on it. It's pretty good radio, but they're not cheap anymore.
That guy.
Go
I
ahead.
tried I have a Anytone by Quad 6.
The 556?
No, the Quad 6. Six
Oh,
six
Quad
six six.
6.
Yeah,
Oh,
that,
yeah, the ham radio, yeah.
that radio was pretty nice. I have that one. CB.
Yeah, they're not bad.
You can burn to CB to 11 meters too.
Yeah,
You too,
I'm
Chris.
not
Have a
sure
good
the
night.
modification you got to do, but I'm sure there's something. I'm
No, it's
trying
just
to remember. There's something you got to do to them.
no, to do that modification on the Quad 6 is just pushing menu and I don't know 3 buttons and it turns on. You convert it to 11 meters to CB.
You got to do the 3-finger dance on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
real easy.
Well, you all was talking about the FM
Hey,
earlier.
Jason.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, let's try to hit a skip here in Georgia.
What channel are you on?
I'm on 19. I don't know if you want to try 19 or not.
Hold on. Let me surf a minute. Let me see. Let's try channel 22. That way I ain't bugging no truckers out here.
I'm ready.
All right. How about it? 308 to Wolfman, New Mexico for a try. Nothing, huh?
Nope, not tonight.
Where's your shop based out of?
All right, well,
Oh, that's okay. We tried. We'll just wait a while. Sometimes that skip a roll in and roll out. Our shop's at Lisa's Truck Center, Moriarty, New Mexico.
Oh, okay. I'm down here in Florida.
Jason, I'm gonna head out, buddy. I'll see you in the morning.
Yeah, you get some rest, my friend. We'll talk at you in the morning. Thanks for jumping in there, Zach. You have a good night. 70.
Hey, have a good night.
Take care.
Oh yeah.
Who
buddy.
was asking about the FM?
Oh, I said something. You all was talking about that earlier, about how far you was talking on FM. And I'm also a ham radio operator, but I talked to British Columbia today on FM on 29 megahertz.
Yeah. I know that on the FM side, the propagation's been kind of weird here lately, especially down here where I'm at. Sometimes it runs north, and other days it's running straight south. It's wild. I don't know what's going on with it right now.
Well,
Yeah.
according to a buddy of mine here in town, he stays on top of all that, which way the skip's going to travel. And he said here before long, within the next 6 months, it's going to be running north and south.
Yeah, I don't get on the AM much anymore. I don't talk on the CB a whole lot. I've just been getting into GMRS the last 6 months, and I've mainly been staying on that one. I got a bunch of local guys down here I talk with.
I was the old
Yeah, we got a bunch of locals down here, too. It's kind of cool. But I don't know. It kind of got to the point down here where they're kind of like sad hams. And I'm just like, whatever. Ain't got time for that shit. And I just want to have fun, you know? So,
Yeah, that's what I like about the guys here in Florida. There's a big GMRS group out of Miami. They've got repeater towers all linked together, even though, FCC says that's a no-no. We still do it. But we're linked up from just south of Daytona all the way down to Key West.
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think a lot
I may
of
have to
people
get on
take
that when I
FCC.
go down to Florida.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people really respect FCC anymore. They haven't really done much to help anybody.
No, all they do is hurt people. Look what they did to that guy out in, where the hell was he? He was out in Washington, one of the wildfires. A ham operator trying to broadcast to help people out, let the firefighters know where other people were located, kind of running like a red dot, like doing relay for them.
Yep.
And the FCC fined this guy like $15,000 and confiscated all of his equipment.
Yep, that's bullshit. Yep, I agree 100%, man. It's wrong. And,
Yeah.
enough's enough. Well, hopefully now, things will start changing a little bit. I've noticed in the last month that even the sales at the shop are starting to go back up. So hopefully things will change. We'll see, A lot of these 3-letter agencies are all corrupt. Well,
Oh
every
yeah.
one of them are corrupt. We all know that, right? And they're finding this stuff out. So let's just see what happens. I'm keeping my fingers crossed, but I'm not holding my breath.
I got another
Well, I can
dumb
tell you this
question.
much: if the government does hand out those $5,000 checks, I'm putting the moonrakers back up on the house, and I'm getting that heat kit out of the garage, and it's going back to work.
Copy that. That would be cool, man. So here,
Th-
just real quick, Jesse had a question. Then I got some news to tell you guys. Go ahead, Jesse.
I'm not real savvy on this. What'd you call it? GRS radios?
GMRS.
GMRS? What frequency band do they run?
462 megahertz on the receive force, and usually 465 on the transmit.
Okay, you
And
said
just for show, Jesse, this is one of the GMRS radios that we do use.
okay, and there is an offset to them. You think?
Yeah, they have an offset, and it's easy to get into the licensing. You get on the FCC's website, you answer 3 questions, give them $35, you're licensed for 10 years.
Is that the same license as the ham?
No, HAM's a completely different license.
Okay. I was gonna say because I've been a licensed ham for 40 years.
Yeah, and here's the nice thing.
GMRS, it's easy to get into, and it's a fun little hobby. It's not like, it's kind of like CB, only shrunk down because you're more tuned towards repeaters, and if you don't have repeaters, the simplex side of it, depending on your radio, can really suck.
Okay. Well, I'll have to look into that. I'm from Missouri, so I don't know if we got much of that stuff around here or not.
Yeah, and the nice thing about the GMRS radio is General Mobile Radio Service. So, I mean,
Yeah, you could get any GMRS radio on eBay.
yeah, but you got to
Or
be careful what you buy, man. You
oh yeah,
start getting into cheap stuff. That's what Kenny and I were just talking about. You're
you know
limited
what
on
I have?
range.
I have on portable radios. I have like 10 bad fangs. I have like 10 of them. And I have 2 Rivist.
Hey, Rosalina, welcome back.
Yeah, it's Rivist, something like that. I have a couple of radios, and I have
Yeah, they
GMRS.
just sent me this one, the RA89, and they want
Oh,
me
I
to
have,
do
I
a
have,
review on it.
yeah.
And
Uh,
but they're not going to be happy with me when I tell them the spectrum analyzer report. But the actual radio really doesn't work that bad. Um, but the Wookson radios just blow it out of the water.
I have
They talk
that
so
one,
much
but I have
further. And something
have
you
the
guys
one
got to
that,
keep in mind: what do people carry GMRS radios for? Hiking,
yeah.
camping, so hunting. You know, if you're out in the middle of nowhere and you need help, you want to make damn sure that radio is going to get out.
Oh, yeah.
So I've got a Yaesu FT450D, and I'm pretty sure it'll go to those frequencies. Or no, that one won't. My dual band.
Jess,
Yeah.
what part of Missouri are you in? I'll let you know if there's any GMRS repeaters in that area. I got my map pulled up.
I'm 50 miles east of Kansas City. But my dual band, my 2-meter 440, I'm pretty sure it'll go to them frequencies that you told me. So will that work on them?
Well, yeah, if you can get to the frequency, it should work. The offset is just for the repeater to activate the repeater.
Right. Let me check something here. So he said 462, 465.
All right, guys, let's do some housekeeping. Just real quick, thanks for all the likes. That helps with the algorithm, all the shares. So if you haven't shared it, please share this live. That helps. And appreciate all the gifts. What do we got up there? We got 20 hats tonight. And we got what's that star again, CJ? Up there, 0 out of 5. That's like a follower or something.
Yeah, it's your subscribers.
There you go. Yeah, to subscribe to the channel. And
Yep.
thanks for all the gifts, guys, because that really does help pay for all this audio equipment here. And we're going to be moving here soon into the other room. We just built a 25 by 25 foot addition, and that's our pipe/cigar room with a pool table. And I'm going to move all the radios in there, set up my new tower. and we're going to be putting up a colossal 10K. And 307 amps that's on here tonight. When he's done helping his kiddo with some homework, he's going to jump in on here, and he's going to be making us custom amps for the shop.
Okay, I got a question about the amps. I looked on his website, and I didn't see any that did sideband.
Oh yeah, they do sideband. The ones I ordered today all have sideband.
Okay, because the website that I looked at for him didn't show any sideband. It was all AM only.
Tater joint, yeah, he does sideband. You just got to request it, and he can add it to it.
Hey, congratulations, Thomas, for getting the number 2 badge.
All right. All right, folks, here's the man of the hour.
Are you trying to say 307's a pillhead?
Hey, Jim,
Am
what's
I in
going
there
on?
yet? Am I in there?
You know,
Yes,
like
sir.
the old
You're
saying
live.
goes.
What's going on, Jim?
Oh, not much. Oh yeah, so that the guy that was on the website, there's a whole nother category. So if you go to the homepage and hit the big black shop button, there's a list for sideband amps, mobile, and a list for bass amps sideband.
Okay, I see that. It just says mobile amps, bass amps, power supplies, and coax.
Yeah, go to the other shop button. It'll bring up the categories. GoDaddy made me separate it. It used to be an add-on to where you could just pick the amp, and then if you wanted sideband biasing, you could click it. So they made me make separate, basically barcodes for each one.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah.
Tater down there in the comments asked how much power are the amps going to push. So I'll let you answer that.
Depending on drive, 2-pill, you'll get anywhere from 3 to 400, and that's on 14.5 volts. 4 pills usually get 900 with 100 watts of drive on that much voltage.
And Jim, I'm glad you brought that up about the voltage. This is something you and I talked about earlier, and we totally agree. We're on the same page. A lot of these guys are pushing it up 15, 16 volts, and why do you not do that?
For the regular HGs, I wouldn't do it just for longevity of the transistor. Now, if they were the competition stuff, that's a whole different ball game. But the wafer's so thin in the C's, what happens is it gets hot and it starts to bend. And that's pretty much why the competition guys use them for 10-second boxes. So you wouldn't want to buy, a C box, run it at high voltage, and talk skip with it. It just ain't going to last.
That's right. Thank you for clearing that up. It's
Yeah,
just what,
I got a question for 307.
go right ahead.
Yeah.
FM amplifiers, how hard are they to put together?
If I was going to run FM, I started dabbling with LD Moss. I would use that versus a transistor type, like the 2879s, just due to the fact that they're a lot more durable. I mean, you can run them on FM. So just say, for instance, to get the most life out of one of these is, say, for instance, a 4-pill. I would key it around 150 watts. So on FM, that's about all you're going to get out of a 4. It'll do more, but it's going to build heat really bad, and it's probably not going to last a whole long time.
Okay.
But the LD Moss stuff, man, I don't know why nobody uses those too often. There is a couple good kits out there. I put one together from DX World from Greece, and that thing's a tank. I love that thing. I mean, it'll do a KW all day long and not care.
All right, well, I was just curious because I got this 20-watt GMRS radio, and I was thinking about see if I can get like a 100-watt box or something to put behind it so I can get a little more reach.
Yeah, I know they got those little. They're on eBay. I'm trying to think of. I don't even
I
know.
don't trust eBay boxes.
Well, that's the only place I seen them for that frequency for those. They make an LD Moss for 2 meter, but I haven't seen anyone use them for the GMRS stuff yet.
All right. Well, that's good to know. And let me ask y'all one more question, and I'll quit pestering you about it. I've got a couple of Heathkit floor units, old tube types. If I needed to get better tubes, what would be my best outlet to find those?
What's he got? 500s in it?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think because I've got a Henry over here. I think RF Parts was the last place I got tubes for him.
That's the last place I got any tubes from too.
Okay. Yeah, because like I said, if I get that government check, I'm putting the boon rakers back up, and that Heathkit's going back in service. I got to get a tube for it because one of my tubes went out in it.
307, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
The 6-pill, how many amps that take to run that?
All out 150 at least.
Good.
Wow. And Jim, you also make the power supplies, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Hey,
I haven't had much luck with those HPs. I did two builds with it and ended up costing me shipping both ways and replacing them with the ones I originally used, so I don't use those anymore.
hey, you guys, I got a question.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
do you got, man?
This is Elliot Ness, 144, Florida.
Hey,
I
what's
got a-
going on, man?
All right, I got a problem, man. I got an antenna, and I ain't never had a problem with antennas, but my MFJ meter took a tank. I put a antenna on the back of my Ford F-150, but I made a bracket, and I can have a 1.5 SWRs without an antenna.
Is your bracket on the bed rail, or did you put like a pole with the bracket on it?
I'm, like if you got a boat and they got the little handle, you put the little deal on it. I wish I could.
Yeah.
Well, I made that. I put that bracket, put a CB antenna on top of it, on it. Mounted on it. I got a ground strap going to the frame of my Ford, and I could take the antenna completely off and still have a 1.5.
That ground strap is acting
That-
like an antenna.
Yeah, that and that. If the handle's up off, it's probably acting like a capacitor also.
Yeah, like a dummy load, right?
Yeah.
So what do I do?
Yeah.
Is it an aluminum
are
body
you-
Ford?
It's the Ford pickup 150.
Is it aluminum?
Oh yeah,
That's
it's
the
a
problem.
17.
So I have a lot of those aluminum body Fords that are pilot cars that come in the shop. The
Uh-huh.
only thing that I can really get to tune up and work well on them is I take a ball mount to the rear bumper and put a 102 whip on it.
That's the only way.
That or buy a Dodge. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Hey.
But
I own
no,
both Fords and Dodge stock.
well, no, just all joking aside, to being honest. Yeah, the aluminum bodied Fords, man, they're really troublesome to get antennas to tune up really good and make them work well. And the only thing that I've ever found is a ball mount and 102 whip. Now, Jim, or if anybody else, if they got another way, please go ahead.
No, I agree with you. Ball mount off the bumper. That's on it, especially on the aluminum trucks. That's about your best bet.
I got a update.
Wait.
This my Volkswagen is aluminum. But what I did, I put a ground strap straight down to the body,
That's what I did to the frame.
to the
Yeah,
to the
but-
chassis, to the chassis.
Yeah,
The
but
chassis.
dude, that's what we're talking about. You don't use ground straps, man. It'll give you a false reading sometimes, but in other times that antenna will reflect off that ground strap. And if you have to run a ground strap, that means you gotta change the location of the antenna.
Okay, so
Yeah.
take the ground off the frame and then try it then.
Well, you could. I mean, it won't hurt, just to try it. But I would really recommend getting a ball mount on the corner of your bumper and just run a 102 whip and a spring. And A,
Yeah.
you're gonna probably double your performance because you got a 9-foot whip. You're gonna double your radiation pattern, right?
Right.
And um, and it's hard to beat a 102. There's nothing to break.
Well, not just that, but that 102 whip runs damn near the full width of the CB band.
You know, 10
That's
and
2 of them.
11.
I'll sell you
Okay.
one. I'll sell you 10. I have 2 of them.
Hey,
I
listen.
love those. I love
Can
those
I-
antennas.
Is there any way I can turn my camera on? I don't know how to turn my camera on so I can show you guys.
If you look in the bottom left, there should be a little picture of a camera, like a movie camera, and just click on that and see if that works.
The bottom
But
left.
you have to have so many followers, right?
Yeah, you gotta have like 1,000 followers. I ain't got nowhere near that, so I don't even stress on it.
I don't either.
Oh, he killed his camera.
Hey, LS, I'll tell you what, if you can't get your camera to work, it's not a big deal. Take pictures of it, and in my bio there, Thunder Valley CB Shop is the shop phone number. You can text the pictures to that number.
Oh, that 505 number.
Yeah,
Yeah.
886-1299. Yeah.
Yeah, man, because it's driving me up the wall. I mean, I never had any problems with an antenna until I got this Ford.
LS,
Welcome to
yeah.
the world of aluminum
Hey.
trucks.
Yeah, I'm going to plead the fifth on that one. But anyway,
You-
no,
Good
this
thing.
is really a cool live, guys, and let me tell you why. Antennas are the hardest part of my job. Building radios, tuning radios, fixing radios is easy. But getting antennas to tune on these new vehicles that are plastic, fiberglass, aluminum, that's where the challenge is. And everybody in here knows it damn good and well. If you can't get an antenna to tune, you can't put a radio on it.
Yeah.
Sure can't.
You know what happened to me once? Coyote. I work with a lot of truck drivers, and this guy has a Kenworth. I don't know what. Yeah, it's a Kenworth. That thing had me crazy like for a year. I was putting the antenna, brand new antennas on it, and I didn't get the SWR down. And I was telling him, you know what, you need a ground everything down because his doors were like fiberglass.
No, that's not the issue either, man. You just in some of those Kenworths, it's the coax that runs through the mirror brackets. They have a lot of problems with those. But the ones that have those cast aluminum mirror arms, and they
Yeah.
got that little plate with the 4 bolts in them,
Yeah.
they're powder coated. So
Sure is.
yep, you pull that plate off and take a wire wheel, and where the 4 screws go in, you just take the powder coating off on the arm and on the plate. Put it back together, and where that stud goes in too, to the bottom of the hole, you got to scrape off all that powder coating. Put it all back together, and 9 times out of 10, she'll tune right up.
No, but
Hey,
this
I
one
had-
had the antenna right on the mirror, where the mirror goes, you know, at the top,
Yeah.
the little hole. It had the antenna there. I couldn't even make it work. I put a new cable, everything. And
So on those, if
almost
you
a
look-
year having trouble with it.
Yeah, when you get that, just put an antenna on the back and call it good. But
You got there?
if you look at those mirrors where they bolt or they
I think we
rivet,
lost the audio.
Yeah.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Anybody hear me?
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
hear you.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear everybody.
Okay, hey, listen. I had a Kenworth 18. No, it was it was an 18, and I had the same problem. What I did, I made a bracket and put it on the where the door jams. I made a bracket there, put a longer screws in it, took a ground wire and ran it to the frame. My SWR stayed 1-to-1.
Yeah, stay away from ground wires, guys. That means you got to move the antenna to a different location. That doesn't fix it. So on those Kenworths where those mirror arms bolt to the door, they have that plate.
Right,
That's and if you look behind that plate, it's got a rubber gasket.
right.
Wink, wink, hint, hint.
So
So
there's not no
the older ones weren't riveted; they were bolted. And if you pull that rubber gasket out, they'll tune right up. But the easiest way to do it, just put an antenna on the back. You got a grab bar back there, put a mirror mount on it, put an antenna. And if you don't have a grab bar, I take a 102 whip about 2 feet behind the sleeper and mount it on the catwalk. Works great. I do that to all the bull haulers. They love it.
Hey, Jason.
Yeah, go ahead, Jim.
Hey, have you ran into those mirror mount brackets that's got that coating on it? And also, you guys were talking about Kenworth. that aftermarket Kenworth antenna bracket has a coating on it, and you don't get ground through it. You got to grind all that stuff off and polish it.
Absolutely. Yep. Yep. You're 100% right. Yep.
All right, gentlemen, I got to hop off here, put this truck back in the wind, go make some more money. It was good talking to you. Y'all have a great night.
Hey,
Hey,
you
you
too,
Too,
man.
man.
Thanks for
Before you
coming
go
on
out.
here.
Have
And
a good one.
please,
going off, that guy.
yeah, anytime you want, man. Just come on in here. It's nice having you on the live.
All right.
Did you find any of them repeaters up here in Missouri?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's several of them over there around Kansas City. There's one you should be able to get it from where you're at, as long as your antenna's got enough elevation. It's 462.600. PL tones are 141.3 both sides, and it's got a 0.5 positive offset.
And just like that, bam, he's on the air.
Okay.
Wow.
I'll check
I've,
it out.
I've learned this FM stuff really good, man. I've got a website I can pull up. You give me any city in the country, and I can tell you what all the antennas are and all the repeater towers, what their PL tones are, everything. It's great.
Yeah, there's a radioreference.com is a good one.
That one does, Radio Reference really doesn't focus a lot on the GMRS. There's another website. If you got an active GMRS ID, you go to My GMRS, create an account. It's free, and then it gives you a map of the entire world, and it shows you where all the different repeaters are, what the PL tones are. If it's a private repeater, it'll give you information how to contact the owner, you to get permission to get onto it. It's a wonderful site.
Yeah, that's a good site. I like my radio reference because you can get all your local law enforcement, EMS, fire, search and rescue frequencies, and you can plug all them in too and listen.
Oh, yeah. All right, gentlemen, y'all have a good night. I got to run to the next one. We'll talk again later.
All right,
Be
Kenny
good.
73,
Have a good
have a good one.
Later.
Later on, I'm gonna try to take this picture right quick. So if I disconnect it, I'll come back. Okay, guys.
Yeah, no sweat, man. Go ahead.
All right. All right.
So here's that My GMRS he was talking about.
Yeah,
So you can
mygmrs.com.
go in and log in, and it'll tell you everything. So you can click on repeaters, and then it'll show all the repeaters that's in your area, and it'll show you everything. And then what Wolfman's talking about, like, click on our state, click on whatever county I want to go to. So for ours, we'll just do Bernalillo and New Mexico DTRS, and this will show
I just
me
gotta
all
stop
of
in here.
the New Mexico frequencies
Still working, brother.
and whatnot.
Hey,
So
Tin Can
there's
Man.
some tools.
Yeah, thanks, CJ. Hey, look who just joined. What you got going on, my friend?
Yeah, I see that.
How you doing tonight, Tin Can?
Doing good, doing good. I'll be coming in to see you here. Sometime this summer, getting a different truck. So
Okay.
we will. I've had good luck with the that one on my cattle pot, and as beat up as that is, I still have a 0.5 SWR.
Nice.
Nice. Hey, Tin Can Man, since you're there, you want to take my car through Blue Beacon?
My what?
You want to take my car through Blue Beacon while you're there?
Actually, it wasn't supposed to rain, and I'm sitting here. I came out of upstate New York, and I'm in Wisconsin now, and I thought I'd take a layer of salt spray off, and it's
There you go.
as you can see, lightly raining. So double rain X.
Yep.
Be on our way.
Yeah, that's really cool, man.
That's
I'm
worth
glad
it.
everything's working good for you.
I'm gonna need a power. Need you to run to the battery, same connector that I got.
Sure.
Probably a coax flake in the top up there, all that good stuff. So I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
no-
plug that one in and run it until I get all that
Yeah, that's no
back
problem. We'll
to the-
fix you up.
back to the same setting.
Absolutely. We'll fix you up, man. That's really cool to see you in here in the live, man. I haven't talked to you in a long time.
Well, you hooked up my boss in his RV. Remember that?
I sure do.
Yeah. His Peter Bago.
Is he happy with it? Is it working good for him?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. He's pretty simple.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Thank you. That's good to hear. You guys make my night, man. This is so much fun. I do 2 lives of Tin Can. I do one in the morning and one at night. One before
I
work.
see you.
Yeah.
I see
And
you
it,
when I'm scrolling through, but I don't want to enter. I came in when you were talking about GMRS and I interrupted all that, so I apologize. But
no, don't apologize, dude. We talk about anything and everything.
Hey,
We talk
Bolero,
about
welcome in from Bronx.
yeah, we talk about camping, hunting, fishing, guns, whatever. I don't care. I just want to have a good time with everybody. You know, you remember back in the old days, man, how much fun radio was?
you know, I was going to tell you a story there here just 2 or 3 years back. I come out of Albuquerque, and there was no cell phone service all the way over to Deming, or not Deming, but Gallup. And would you believe that the CB radio came alive that day? I was just like, wow.
That is so cool.
There was like all they were talking about is
Late
anybody got cell
wave,
phone
Bolero.
service? Anybody got cell phone service? And it was like, no.
I'll tell you a cool story. So we live in Edgewood, which is 40 miles east of Albuquerque, and our daughter lives on the west side of Albuquerque. Well, my wife left to go visit our daughter, and all of a sudden she hollers at me on the GMRS radio. And I said, yeah, babe, what's up? Because she normally doesn't do that. She goes, honey, I forgot my phone at home. And I said, oh, I'm glad you got that radio now, huh? And she started laughing. But it worked, man. I mean, I was in the shop in Moriarty. She was on the west side of Albuquerque. We were a good 60, 70 miles apart. And with that GMRS, we were talking like we were right next to each other.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you get that photo?
All right.
Well, I'm on
I'm going
my
to go
phone.
get washed up. Y'all have a good night.
Hey,
Good
you
night,
too,
Tim.
man. Thanks
All
for
right, Tin
joining.
Can Man, have a good night.
Come in
See ya.
anytime you want, man. 73.
Did you get it?
Well, I'm on my phone right now, so I can't look. I'm using my phone for the live, but afterwards I will.
Okay. That works.
Yeah, not a big deal, man. And if you send it to that 1299 number, yeah, I'll get it.
Yeah.
That's the shop number.
Yes,
And,
sir.
yeah. I use a Google Voice for the shop phone, so I can look it up here on my cell phone when we get off. But
Yeah, then you can call me because your time is probably about 9:45, give or take.
yes, sir.
You know, because I did 48 states twice, so I know exactly where you are.
Yeah.
And I wrecked my truck, so I'm out the game. My wife made me retire, and the military started giving me a check. She told me you should have been applied for your benefits.
Good
But
for
me
you.
being, I'm trying to be a working man, but
Well,
now I'm
keep
just
this in mind. If you ever call the shop to order anything, let me know you're military, and I give all military 10% off.
yeah. I'll even show you my ID. I'd rather do that so you'll know, because some
Yeah.
people say they're military and then they not military.
Dude, you always have that gut feeling when you know, right? And yeah,
Huh?
I did 6 years in the Navy, and I had a guy come in one day, and he said he was Army, this, that, and the other. I'm like, sweet, dude, what was your MLS? And
He
he just
didn't
looked
know.
at me with this blank stare, and he goes, well, that was a long time ago. And I said, bullshit. I said, that is one thing you will never forget,
You ain't lying.
ever.
I had a guy. It was over there in Palm Springs. We was out visiting Palm Springs, and he had on this old little uniform. His patches was all out of whack.
Yep.
I said, well, let me ask you a question. I said, what was your duty station? He said Fort Benning. I said, yeah. I said, where at Fort Benning? He said, oh, it was in Columbus, Georgia.
Oh, my, really? Wow. Wow.
You know, everybody know your duty station.
Come
Okay,
on, man.
it's San Hilton or it's Harmony Church or so on and so forth.
Yeah.
You know, and I said, look, man, you know that's stolen valor, right? No, man, I did time. I was in Vietnam. I said, man, look, you can't tell me where your duty station was. I said, well, have you did any time overseas? Oh man, I went to Mannheim. I said, yeah. I said, where at? He says, what that Leonardburg or something. I said, what do it look like? He said, it
Hey,
looks like,
Waylon.
yeah. Go ahead.
No,
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead, sir. You're
Oh,
okay.
he says, It looks like a apartment complex. I said, man, if you don't get your ass out my face, I'm slap shit out you. I swear. My wife, because she's 92 Alpha, no 92 Bravo, and she got mad because she came up on the tail end. I said, see, this is what I'm saying. People pretend to be military, and then if you ask them their credentials, if you could just come out with the card, your medical card, anything to show proof, then we'll be okay. But if you start asking questions, they don't know what you're talking about. I'll be ready to fight, literally.
Hey, I got a good story to tell you guys real quick. And I want to get back to Jim because I don't know how much time he has. I want to talk about what we're doing. So I was sitting in a restaurant one day, and these two young kids, two girls come in, sit next to me in the booth. And I don't know, they're in their early 20s. And I guess it must have been a first date because they were trying to impress these chicks. Well, I hear the one dude say he was a SEAL. And dude, I'm listening. First of all, look at his physique, bullshit. Second of all, when he was talking, you know right away. So I turned around and I said, "Hey, young man, do you know what SEAL stands for?" And I deer in the headlights look, and I said, "Yep, sea, air, and land, brother." I said, "If you don't know what you're talking about and you're faking this bullshit trying to impress these chicks, you just made yourself look like a fool." And I turned back around.
His full face cracked.
Oh, come on, man. Anyway, let's get back to Jim up there. So, Jim, you also do 3D printed stands for radios, correct?
Yep. And they have 2 speakers, and then I usually put the guy's call sign on it or whatever. I can do pretty much any caller. Popular ones are kind of here lately has been like black with red lettering, so
Nice.
I can do pretty much any caller.
Yeah,
And
pretty
they-
soon you guys are going to see the Wolfman one here soon. We talked about that earlier.
Yeah. What colors do you want?
Well, my wife's favorite colors are black and purple.
Okay. I'll hook you up.
That'd be
Hey,
awesome.
307.
Yeah.
307. You do the covers for the radio too?
No, it's just basically if you want to mount one on a desk, it's just a stand for that to hold the radio, and it's got 2 forward-facing speakers.
Oh, okay. I thought you made like the front stuff, like printed. You know how the modification they do like the drawing and stuff.
Yeah, no, I don't do the faces and stuff.
Yeah, I don't do the faces either, but I got the radio wraps at the shop that cover either the top or the bottom.
I want something like the flag, my Mexican flag, on my radio.
Why? You live in America.
I know.
Yeah. Hey.
Mexican.
Hey, Jesse came in here. He's a new one that just came to the live. What's going on, man?
Well, I was in here a while ago.
Yeah, I know, but you just came back.
Oh, I just went and put a picture up on my profile there.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, nice.
Hold on, let me put him in the big screen.
It's got all my junk in it.
Yeah, he's got a nice system. He sent me some pictures of that, man, and it's
Oh
cool.
yeah, that is nice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm a true D104 man. Every radio I have, I run a D104 lollipop mic.
Yeah, I got a couple of those, and I got one that was made just for sideband. I don't know if you guys ever seen one of those.
I have. You showed me the other night.
Yep, it's pretty cool. Yeah, this is much nicer for me. I know you guys can't see me, but I got the phone to my right, and I can actually talk and read the comments now.
Yeah, I need to get some more followers so I can go live.
Yeah, me too.
Well, guys, everybody that's in here, follow them, and let's do that and help them out. And I'm doing my best to help him out here in the shop because I'm starting to get customers trickling in now wanting some power, and I had nothing to offer them. A and B, I don't carry junk in my shop, and I want something that's quality, and he's got it. So that's why we're going with him. And we're just going to ride this ride together and make some cool stuff. We're going to do some laser engraving, some custom paint, custom pinstriping, custom lettering, whatever the customer wants. And, oh, Jim, I forgot to tell you.
Yeah.
My friend Chris that does the laser engraving, he is a paint and body man for Rush Peterbilt in Albuquerque.
Oh, cool.
So what he told me, he gave me a great idea. He said, if there's a driver that wants the amp to match his truck, he goes, all you got to do is give him the VIN code. He can get the paint code and paint it.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yep. So it'll be the exact same color as the truck.
That would be sweet.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's kind of cool how all this stuff fell together. Everything fell together with Eric, the metal fab guy, and I just think it's meant to be. So let's have fun.
Yeah, I talked to him again tonight. He's gonna lay it out to where we can do half 2 pills and half 4 pill cabinets. So,
And isn't it amazing how this just fell together?
yeah.
That is kind of cool.
It is.
Things happen for a reason.
I agree. And when things fall together like that, it's meant to be. You know, I don't know. God's taking us on a journey somewhere. We're going to find out where it is.
Well, that's like I was telling you earlier, you know, that other heat sink, and those were just, I think they were popular because it was something different. And then it was like I couldn't get the heat sink anymore, so that kind of went out the window.
Well, it did. But now the cool thing is Eric can mill you one.
Yeah. Well, we talked about that, the price, because I can get the heat sink, you know, for a pretty good price. And he's like, I couldn't mill a block of aluminum for that price. And I was like, yeah, I figured that'd be expensive, because usually the way that heat sink is made is they peel it and stand it up. I don't know if you've ever seen a video of that, but it's actually not machined. It's just like they take a layer of aluminum, and then it's got a real sharp blade, and they just peel it up.
Oh, okay.
It's extruded. I think that's how you say it.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. That
Man,
would be
guys.
kind of a cool. That would be kind of a cool to have him mill out of aluminum block and make a water cooled amp for the house.
Oh man, you had to say that, didn't you, Jim? You had to say that. Now, okay, so now you know what you're adding to my bass amp, right?
That would be kind of cool.
That
Yeah.
would be extremely cool. And they have, you know, like the water cooled computers where you can get like the neon colors.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Turn the lights off at night. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Man, that would be some. See, you got me going now.
That's the thing. I got all kind of crazy ideas. It's just finding the time to do them. You know.
Oh yeah. That guy says, why couldn't you use a water cooler system off of a PC? I don't see why you couldn't.
Yeah, most of the guys that's doing that's for the LD Moss stuff. That's what they're using is the little radiators and the reservoirs for a PC.
Yeah. Okay, Waylon's got a question. He says, what do I think about the DM1000 Tornado? Well, I could tell you I got one hanging on the wall in the shop. And I used one of those mics for a long time on my old 959. So yeah, they work pretty good. They got adjustments in the back. You just got to make sure you adjust them right so you don't overmodulate.
That's a big amp killer too.
Absolutely. Why don't you talk about that for a minute, Jim, please?
Just for instance, I had a guy that bought I think it was a 2x6 bass, and long story short, he had it for about a week, sent it back. He popped a transistor in it, and he was a sideband guy, and I just happened to catch him on the radio one day, and that thing was so overmodulated. And, you know, the way you set the dead key up and everything on these amps, he had everything cranked to where it was right on the verge of squealing. So he basically didn't have a dead key, and the amp was 100% when he would key up. So that, you know, those are good mics, but you just got to figure out how to run them. You just can't have them cranked wide open.
Yep, absolutely. And for all you guys like Waylon, we ship worldwide. So if there's something you want, just call the shop. And I was working on the website the other day, so hopefully here in the next few days we should have that back up and running.
You get an amp to so you can advertise all these linears and everything.
Yep, absolutely. Man, I'll tell you what, man, this is like a big weight off my shoulders, because we're going to be doing stuff with these amps that no other radio shop's doing. So I feel lucky. I feel blessed. And I'm really excited. This is so cool. This is going to expand the shop. It's going to help Jim out. And yeah, let's just do it.
Works for me.
Hey, Jim. It's John in Monticello.
Hey, John, what are you up to?
Oh, just kind of scrolling through, but I just thought I'd pop in here and just let everybody know how good things are hammering down with your amp.
Hey, how'd Richard get his stuff set up?
We got everything down. We got the reflect down to like 5. We're going to work on his other amp probably. I think his resistors will be in tomorrow, so we'll probably work on that Friday.
Cool. Yeah, I was telling Jason earlier on the phone about that the V5000. If anybody ever gets one of those, to drill out those rivets and put 6 32nd stainless machine screws in there instead of the rivets.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people understand the reflect and stuff with the amps. You know, it's kind of all new to us and we're learning, but it'll cause you some serious problems.
Yeah. Well, and the bad thing is you know that some of the parts, you know, like his, it was literally a $2 resistor, but my God, he had over $100 in shipping.
Yeah, and then they drop kick it on the way there.
Yeah. I didn't know if you seen that video I posted in my group. The guy's like, my amp showed up and he's like, check this out. UPS guy's walking up the sidewalk and just drops it from waist high.
Oh my
Yep.
God.
Holy cow! Really?
Yeah, thank God it was only a 2-pill and it was double boxed.
And there was a guy in Wisconsin that sent me 2 old Connex 4300 turbos. No, 4600. Sorry. Anyway, these radios look brand new, and everyone knows how old those radios are, right? So I peak tuned, aligned them, all that stuff. We wrapped them all back up, shipped them back. He gets them, and all I get is a picture on my text message, and the front face was caved in 1 inch.
Wow.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it, man. I was so upset. And so we straightened them out, fixed them up best we could, and shipped them back. But good gravy. And the post office didn't do anything. Didn't pay for nothing. And I'm like, guys, you're the one who shipped them. Like, who else was it?
Did they give you that deal that it wasn't packed by a certified packing person?
Oh, I don't
Have a good night,
remember.
Alberto.
Hey, he's taking off. You have a good night, my friend. Thanks for
Yep.
joining the live. We'll catch you on the
Hey,
next one.
evening, Papa
73.
Smurf.
Evening, brother.
What's going on, Papa?
What's happening?
You
Well,
guys
tonight's
are
kind of
go
Tonight's kind of a special live, guys, because we got Jim up there, Mr. 307 amps, and he's going to start making amps for my CB shop, and so I'm pretty excited about that.
Hey, Jay, real quick.
Hey,
How's it going?
Wisco Trucker says he hates his Striker 955. He was asking what the best stock or tuned MPCB on the market was. I said Striker so far is one of the good ones, but it's all in the antenna.
Well, why does he hate his radio? Let's start there.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Hey, LS, good night, my friend, and thank you for being on the live, and I'll take a look at those pictures and get back to you.
outstanding.
Have a good night, Ellis.
Have a good night.
Yes, sir.
Have a
You
good
too.
night.
Thank you,
Bye,
sir.
Ellis.
I'll do it.
Have a good evening, man.
I'll do it.
Okay, he said it's never worked right. What never worked right? Let's start there.
I love me some Striker radios. I don't know what the problem is with that.
Yeah, I agree with you, Pop Smurf. So, to give you an example, on average, they sell between 100 and 120 strikers a month, and I've never, ever had one come back. Ever.
Just don't get it. Do you know what your SWRs are on your antenna?
Yeah, if it's not getting out, then you got an antenna issue.
I'm not sure it's set up right.
Well, when you key the mic on the bottom of your screen, it automatically tells you the SWR. How far up does that go? That don't make sense. Well, okay, so what kind of antenna are you running? Okay, well, there's the problem right there. Francis
Yep,
antennas
all
are not tunable. Don't
Yeah.
ever buy an antenna you can't tune. That's where all the magic happens. So, why don't you take that one over there, Jim? What do you think?
That's a good indication. It's probably factory coax in the truck. I'm assuming you're in a big truck, right? Because I ran into this in one of the installs I did here local. The guy had a striker. He didn't have dual antennas. It was just a single mount. I don't even think it was a Francis. It's just whatever the trucking company put on there. And it had the solid core coax cable that goes through the door, so it eventually broke. And that was a lot of his issues.
CB shop cable.
Yeah. I would try the 4-foot fire sticks with tunable tips. Part number is FS4, Frank Sierra 4. We have good luck with those. But yeah, don't ever buy an antenna you can't tune, man. And something's not making sense to me. I'm not calling nobody a liar, but a 1SWR and Francis, every now and then you might get lucky like a squirrel getting a nut, but I don't think so. Sorry, I just had to throw that in there.
Can't knock the truth.
And well, it's true. And number two, you're always going to get better performance out of a single antenna. So if you got some good coax like Procom or something like that, that's all you need. RG8X for that. And just run a single antenna, man. Try something good. Try a Predator. Try a Viper. Fire Stick, something like that. But you'll get way better performance. And another trick with radios, and I'm sure Jim will back me up on this, the longer the whip, the bigger radiation pattern you have. So the further you're going to talk in here.
Yep.
Yeah, tell him, Jim, how good the Stereo is.
I'll tell you what, Jason, I don't know if you've messed with the Serio P5000 much, but
Absolutely. I had them in my shop for a long time, and then I can't get them.
Hey,
Oh,
Bart Z71, welcome back.
that antenna, especially I have it puck mounted on the roof, and I talk more skip on that thing, and it tuned out amazing.
Yep. Yeah, the antenna's made right,
Anybody-
that's for sure, and it's got a long whip on it.
Hey,
Yeah.
Wolfman.
No, I
Have
don't
you,
like Wilson antennas. Wilson's all made in
skip
China.
shooter?
Skip shooters are good, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
like
and-
my Striker 810.
Yeah, Striker. Here's the deal. At the end of the day, if the Striker tunes up on your truck, it's going to work. So if you have, let's say you change trucks and you put them Strikers on another truck and it doesn't tune up, well, it ain't going to work because you tune the antenna to the ground plane of that vehicle. So you got to find an antenna that likes the ground plane of that truck.
Yeah,
So,
and if he's running those Francis,
Yeah.
they're just that real thin wire inside that fiberglass.
Yep, that's right.
So, Let's Go Trucker, myself, and Thunder Valley, we're both from New Mexico.
Yeah, so my shop's out in Moriarty, New Mexico at Lisa's Truck Center. Exit 197 off of I-40.
I got my Striker 810 mounted in the middle of my trunk of my 2018 Malibu.
Yep. Yeah, Striker antennas are good, but the P5000 that Jim's talking about, I carried those and I carried the Bull Truckers, the ones that lit up green, and I was getting them from A1 Telecom, and man, I would sell out every week. Every week, I'd get 2 dozen of each, and I'd sell out every week. And they work really well. I love the P5000 because it's got that big long whip on it. And then all of a sudden, he said, "We can't get them no more." I'm like, "What?"
You know, Jim told me to buy a Stereo P5000, and I bought one, and it was working good. And I was just trying to get my ohms down a little bit more, or actually up, because they were at 30. I was trying to get them up, and I trimmed it just a hair too much. And you can't find a 71-inch whip anymore that fits them. Nobody sells them.
Oh, really? Now, Barry over there at A1 Telecom told me that there was a place out in California if I wanted to order them from them I just haven't got around to calling them. But just been too dang busy. Hell, I can't even fix my antenna on the shop.
The only reason I ran a Francis is because they gave me the best SWR. I can only run like a 3 or 4 antenna.
Yeah, try the 4-foot fire sticks with tunable tips, man. I've had really good luck on those trucks, and I also had really good luck on those trucks with the Viper antennas. Believe it or not, right now that Viper antenna is my #1 selling antenna.
Did he say what year truck that was?
No, he didn't.
No, I don't think he did.
No, he just said it was a W900.
Yeah, I wonder if it's not even getting good ground either.
Hey, Chris, if you want to read questions out, go for it.
Yeah. What would be would it be responsible to run a 102 on my cab on my pickup, or am I better off with my A10 now?
You're not going to beat a 102 whip,
Ever.
especially if you're running
Whisper
power.
Trucker says it's a 2000.
Yeah, I wonder if he's not getting good ground through the mirror brackets.
Very possible.
Been there, done that.
No, don't run aground to the mount. Move the antenna.
Yeah, because it's just not seeing enough ground to push your signal out.
Yep, that's right. No reflection.
Hey,
That's what,
Jim.
Yeah.
Remember when I called you about my ground and stuff, and then they put that stupid shiny Cody stuff on the brackets?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we were just talking about that before you jumped in.
Yep.
that
funny.
coating they put on those brackets.
Yep.
And that, oh man, between that, that's an amp killer, because I've got a couple truck drivers that's always having issues, and it's like you need to get a multimeter and make sure it's getting grounded through there.
Well, I had blew out with my truck till I called Jim, and he's like, "Hey, check that bracket." And once I did, my Striker A10, it got a lot better once I figured that out.
One thing about it, he put that
Absolutely.
102-inch whip on the top of that truck. He'll be noticed going down the road.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to look like a big remote
Yeah.
control car.
As
think
far
the
as your
first,
antenna, it's going to be
overpass
the
would
best
be
place it
correct.
tunes on your truck. Whisker. It's going to be where it tunes the best.
So he said he's concerned about putting it on the roof because he's going to hit shit. Well, if you go through my TikTok videos, you'll see my old green 66 Dodge, and I got my 102 whip mounted right dead center in the middle of the roof because it's got an even ground plane, right? And dude, that is a talking SOB. It works good. And sure, you're going to hit stuff, but it doesn't matter. It's a 102 whip. You're not going to hurt it. Okay,
Parking
so he
garages, you're
says,
just going to break out lights.
that's right. Yeah, I did that at Sonic, dude.
Overpass.
I put a 102 whip in the center roof of my Jeep, my 98 Jeep Cherokee, and I pulled in a Sonic one day, and I heard crash, 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 and all this glass fell down, and I snapped, and went, oh, shit. And the manager comes running out, and he's like, oh, my God. And I felt so bad. I told him, man, I'll pay for it, I'm sorry. He kind of laughed and said, nah, don't worry about it. So I left, came back a couple weeks later, and they put those plastic covers over all the lights.
All right, Waylon, 73s, have a good night.
I pulled into Sonic one night. I had a 102-inch whip on the bed rail of my pickup. I pulled into a Sonic one night, and it ended up pulling that 102-inch whip right out of my bed.
Oh, no.
It got caught up in their awning.
Yep.
Oh, shit.
Okay, so his
Anywhere you can get a
question
102 anymore.
His question
I got
was,
one,
where
I'll
would
sell
you
you.
move he said, where would you move the antenna to? I have limited options. On the back of your truck, do you have a grab handlebar?
Hey, Jay, that guy wants to come back up in the box.
Okay, stand by.
Yeah, if you
Okay,
put
if you
that
got a
if you put that in on there on that grab bar, you could probably run a little bit longer on this to get it over the cab a little bit.
And you know what? Sometimes it really doesn't matter too much because most of these new trucks are fiberglass or plastic. And it really doesn't.
I can help him with this problem he's having. I fought this same battle on a W900.
Go for it.
All right, so the biggest problem you're going to run into with the Francis antennas is, like you were saying before, the wire going up through the middle of it's so small. You can't beat that antenna with a lot of power. You get good SWRs at a dead key or when you're talking smooth and low, but the harder you hit that antenna, the higher your SWRs are going to jump. And if you're running co-phased and you don't have enough separation between the two antennas, the reflective is going to give you 9 yards of grief and it's going to squash your signal.
Thank you so much. This is another thing that a lot of guys don't realize. Everyone thinks 2 antennas are better than 1, right? Well, if you're running quarter wave antennas, they got to be 9 feet apart and trucks on the 8.
Correct. His best bet, what I did to cure my problem on the W9 that I had, I switched to 4-foot Francis antennas. I still ran 2 of them on the truck, so it looked cool, but I was only driving off the left side antenna. The right side antenna was just a dummy.
There you go. Okay, so his
Barno
next
asked,
question
would it be
was,
better off with the 3 magnet mount or just drill into the cab?
well, so like in my truck, it was an old Forest Service truck, and they had a water tank in the bed. So they drilled a hole right in the center of the roof, and that's where they put the spare tire. So when my dad bought the truck, all that was taken off. So there was a hole right already in the roof, and it mounted perfect in there. I just used a gumdrop mount. But if you want my personal opinion, and hey guys, I want your opinions on this too, 10 Gibbs thing. I would rather drill a hole and put the antenna in it. I'd rather not use the magnets. What do y'all think?
I agree. That way you have a physical ground, a physical connection. Because then if you start running amplifiers on a magnet, the RF will make the magnets start to lose their magnetic field to ground.
Yep.
8 pill, 200 watts PEP for drive.
So he said he thought it was 6 feet apart. All right. So guys, let's do some science here. So everything with radios is math. Everything is numbers, right? The 27 megahertz wavelength is 36 feet long. If you divide that in half, hold on, we got a bunch of noise in the background. Okay, if you divide 36 in half, you got 18 feet. That's a half wave antenna, right? You take 18 feet, divide that in half again, it's 9 feet. That's a quarter wave antenna. So that's why they got to be 9 feet apart, not 6. Okay, so now if you're going to mount the 102 whip in the roof, you got to remember, like my old Dodge, I got away with that because that thing is solid steel, man. I mean, you could punch it, not move it, right? With these newer vehicles, the steel's real thin. So like in my Jeep, I had to take a 12 by 12 inch steel plate, drill a hole through it, put it under my headliner to put the 102 whip on the roof because it was just flexing the roof too much.
Look in.
Bardo goes, I'll put this out there too. My setup is a Antone Quad 6 with the 703 behind it.
Oh, he's running the RM Italy amp. Now let's talk about RM Italy. Yeah, exactly.
Don't get
The dirty
don't
about that.
get too choked up there, 307.
If you look at that antenna wrong, you're gonna pop the MOSFETs in it. Chicken Hawk is back. What's up, dude? Hey guys, just real quick, I just want to thank everybody. We're up to 1,200 likes. I appreciate it. Don't forget to like and share the live. And we got some gifts up there. If you guys want to give some gifts, that helps pay for all this equipment. And I got a noisemaker.
Congratulations. Well done.
That's right.
I wanted to ask about that 655 that you posted up earlier, brother, that had the switch on the bottom. I was wondering what the switch was.
Oh, so I took that radio in on trade-in, and someone had just put 3 blue LEDs. That's what the switch is for. It's kind of like a map light.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If I don't go on the cab, would it be better off just showing into the bed?
Probably not. I would go on the center of the roof of the cab if you want the best performance. If you go into a corner of the cab, let's say you go to the right rear, the antenna is going to want to transmit to the left front.
Yeah, with it being on the roof, you'll have more metal to act as a ground plane.
Somebody
Yep.
on there was asking you what it costs to send the radio to you and have you tune it up, speaker.
Oh, to peak and tune an AM radio is $60. AM with sideband is 80. And dispatch said, "Does anyone work on radios?" Yeah, I own a Thunder Valley CB shop, and we do work on radios. But can you tell me what's wrong with it? What is it doing?
I'd like to put a roof mount on my 250 and get rid of that magnetic mount off my headache rack. Yeah, with the magnetic mounts on the headache rack in jail, vouch for this because if it's not sitting flat on metal and it's got like plastic or rubber in between, it won't give you the best SWR and it just makes everything sound like crap.
Most headache racks are bolted on top of a plastic bed liner.
I guess now that you guys laughed about our mental,
I'm just kidding.
just looking for someone in case I need a radio fixed. Yeah, Wolfman here, he's awesome at it.
Yeah, right now though, if it needs any parts or anything like that replaced, I'm a year booked out in repairs. If it's a solder joint or tune-up or a quick fix, I can usually turn them around in 3 or 4 days. So Z71 said something about RM Italy's. What's wrong with them? They're just a cheap amplifier. There's no quality in them. Should have got them power straight to the battery. Well, it depends on the radio. If you're running a Cobra, they pull 1.5 amps. You can run that off a cigarette lighter plug.
I'll give you a follow there, CJ.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Hey, cool.
Yeah, I gotta
Hey,
clean
make
up
sure.
some.
Hey, make
Gotta
sure
clean up some
everyone
of my
follows.
followers, and I'll follow you back.
Yeah, that's cool, CJ. Make sure everyone follows 307 amps, right? We got to build up as followers.
Yeah, I've been trying to follow everybody that's been coming through here, just to pass around a little bit of love.
Me too.
No, we appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, sir.
I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers so I can go live.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I've been doing. I've had I'm on my 3rd TikTok account. I keep losing them for some reason. I still ain't figured out why.
You
piss
being a
somebody
bad
off?
boy. They're smacking you.
Well,
So Wisco Trucker is talking about the Shrekker 955.
Yeah, 955 is a great radio.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Aloha
you
there,
can run it
dispatch.
to a battery?
Yeah, 655.
So here's another big misconception. Everyone runs like 2-gauge wire from the battery up to the radio, and then they plug it into 14 gauge. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. If you're gonna run to the battery, just run the same gauge wire that comes out of the radio. You'll be fine.
Some of the newer vehicles, it seems to help on noise if you do that, run it to the battery.
Yeah, and you know, I've had a couple vehicles, Fords in particular. They got a lot of alternator noise, and what I've noticed with them is if I take the ground wire off the battery, clean the paint off, and bolt it to the inside fender, that usually cleans up that alternator noise.
Yeah, I know. Like the pilot cars, they'll get those cheap Amazon light bars. They'll put their antenna up, and that's all they get is that noise because they wire it all together. It's like you can't do that.
Yep.
Arvin Delancey, have y'all heard of a top tier 1 radio?
What type of radio is that?
I haven't heard of it.
Neither have I.
No, me neither. Man, look at you guys. You guys are awesome. We're up to 1,300 likes. I appreciate that. I think my record was 24,200 in one live.
Wow. Hey guys, I appreciate all the gifts you're giving out.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not sure. I've just seen these guys that build them and sell them on TikTok.
Well, yeah, you can.
Yeah, Chicken Hawk, dude, that drives me crazy. Like on my pilot car, I run sound off signal. It eliminates everything. I get the better lights and stay away from the Amazon stuff. The LEDs, I know it's a big thing now. They give off so much noise. My lows have no RF, but highs do. So Barto, are you talking like LED headlights? Are you talking LED signals? What type of LEDs?
I think he's talking about his light bar on top.
You might be. Yeah, because I know Phoenix Industries, FedSig, Wayland, Sound Off Signal, Code 3, the bigger name brands, they don't give it off, but it also depends on how it's wired and who wires it. Some of the Amazon cheap $300-400 lights, they're not built right, and it just gives off so much ground. Just the headlights.
Yeah,
Um,
the cheaper LED lights, man, they throw so much RF in the radios, it's crazy.
oh yeah, it gets annoying. I know my light bar gives off RF. Yeah, if you have like the cheaper light bars, typically those off Amazon that are from China or any of those, they give off so much RF. The Farron coils, they're just not made right. I've been 40, 50 feet away from someone's light bar and I can hear it on my CB, and it's just annoying.
Yep, that's it right there. They don't have the microfarad rings inside of them. Made in China.
Hey, Chicken Hawk just got the number 3
China.
gifter badge. Yeah, I've had good I've had good luck with Phoenix. I've got a visor bar from Phoenix, but everything else is sound off. And my company's name is Phoenix, actually spelled after Phoenix Industries.
I believe
Man,
we were
look at
talking
you.
The
about that earlier about, the chokes are there for a reason. Those
Yeah,
ferrite
yeah,
rings, they're necessary.
yeah, oh
yeah.
yeah.
Hey,
There used to
Barto,
be
so if one is doing
go
it
ahead.
and the other one doesn't, then you probably have a bad ground in one of your headlights.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, there used to be a place in Albuquerque called Extreme CB, and
Must be a Ford.
that guy was known for cutting limiter diodes out of every radio, um, pulling out the microfarad screw in the back, all that crap. And I'm like, oh my god, man, those radios were so nasty. But it swang more on the watt meter. Yeah, but shit, no one can understand you.
Yeah, but
What do you
everybody
say?
wants that big swing.
Yeah,
They want to key down and look on their little junk pyramid. They're trying to look on their little pyramid meters and they want to see that power swing for the fences.
that's it. All right, hey Jim, is there anything
Yeah.
else you can think of, man? What else should we talk about, man? Let's talk about your amps some more. Why don't you talk about how you
LOL.
build them?
What's that, bro?
Well, it's just me doing it. I don't know. What do you want to know?
Yeah, and that's one thing that I actually like. Because you only got one set of hands in there, everything's going to be the same.
Yeah, that way, if I have a bad day, I can't blame the guy that had a bad day.
That's right.
Don't mug me much, gives me like 1 to 2 bars of RF, not too bad. Big guys cut right through. Yeah, mostly on those that anything will go through, but eventually in time it's probably, and I was just thinking about it, it might be the ballast in that LED might actually be going out too, and the longer you wait, the worse it's actually going to get.
Yep, good point. Well, Jim, I hope you're having fun tonight.
Oh
And
yeah.
I know I sure am, and I love talking about stuff like this. It's been a hobby of mine
Oh yeah.
since I was 14, and it's something that's never got old. It was a hobby that I never gave up, and I was working at Heights Lock and Key in Albuquerque. I was a safe cracker for them, and COVID hit. And the owner of that place bought a hook, line, and sinker. Everyone had to get vaccinated, boosters, and all this shit. We're like, And so he had a crew of 35 men, and 15 of them quit that day, including me. And I came home pretty upset. And my wife looked at me, God bless her. She goes, "This is a blessing in disguise. Why are you mad?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? I don't have a job," you know. And she said, "Honey, been working on radios your whole life. It's time you open up your own shop." And
Smart
she
lady.
was, yeah, she was right. And every day I go to work, I don't regret it. I don't get up going, "Oh shit, I got to go to work." You know, I love what I do. I love making people happy. They got a big smile on their face. They come back a week later, dude. My radio has never talked this far. And most
I
of
will
it's
say I've
because we
enjoyed this live.
but
I appreciate
you know,
y'all
it's,
doing this.
I don't know. I just love what I do.
Yeah, we have fun in these
Thank you,
lives.
man. I enjoy having you on here.
Dude,
See,
like I
the main
said, I'm a
reason why I started
radio
doing
nerd
live
from
was
like
to
way
help
back
people
in the
out.
day.
Well,
I've
that's
been a
like
radio nerd for a while, dude. And I
Yeah,
love
and
having these technical conversations about this.
well, that's
well,
like me.
I
I
got to
did
tell you
this as a
something. I love
hobby.
having these.
Bardo, you can never sound stupid with radios or anything like that. You know, there's no stupid question. There's no stupid answers. You know, we're just here to have fun and educate.
What were you going to say, Jim?
Oh, I said, yeah, this year, I did this for a hobby. And back in the day, if you had a Texas Star and a Galaxy, you were the king.
Yeah.
So I think my first box I got was, it was an old Dave made. Blew it up. And of course, most places are so far out, you can't get it fixed. So I started tinkering myself. And I just built my own for a hobby. And then I had a friend say, he's like, your stuff looks way better than everybody else's. Why don't you just start building them? So it was about COVID time too, and I was building my own stuff for a hobby, and I was a field tech in the oil field, doing samples and stuff, and I made a Facebook group, and like 3 months later, I told my boss, I said, I'm out of here. He's like, are you serious? I said, I've got more work than I can do now.
That's awesome.
That's good stuff. There's 307.
Yeah, and that was, going on 5 years now.
Yeah, that's cool. And
I see you
That's
post
awesome.
all the time,
I
man. That's
started.
awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. And I started doing these lives just to help people out. And the reason why is I cannot tell you how many thousands, I mean thousands, of truck drivers that came into my shop over the years. Oh, I went to this CB shop, and you got to do this, you got to do that, and you got to turn them all up. And I said, you know what? I'm done. That's it. So I started doing lives to help people out with scientific fact, not someone's wives' tale bullshit. And I tell all my customers, look, I know you can't always make it to my shop. You might be across country and you need help. And that's fine. I get it. But if you walk into that guy's radio shop and something don't sit right in your stomach, just walk outside and call me. And I'll tell you if he's bullshitting or not. Well, sure enough, one of these guys calls me up. He's up in Wyoming, and I don't know, some guy was trying to tell him that a 447 Striker does 200 watts. I said, dude, there's no way in hell that only has 2 finals. There's no way in hell, physically impossible. The guy's full of shit. He's lying to you. Just walk out. And he starts laughing, and he goes, I don't have to tell him nothing. You already did. And I said, why is that? And he said, I had you on speakerphone. And I said, good. Well, he shouldn't have lied.
I bet he
the
was
kind of
showing
stuff
him
I'm-
that 200 watts on a Dosey 4000 with the pods turned all the way up.
Huh? There you go.
So Bardo goes, my story is a bunch of friends bought CDs, cheap Walmart ones, enjoyed it.
Guys, listen, you don't have to buy an expensive CB to get something to work. I have guys coming all the time in company trucks, and they got Cobra 29s in them, and you're lucky to get 12, 15 watts out of it, right? But you put a good antenna on it that's tuned up, and they'll talk 5-6 miles.
Yep.
And I had a buddy is in the side band rigs and got one of them, and I have been hooked ever since. Oh yeah, it's easy to get hooked with these. I mean, I use mine for work, but when I'm not driving, I'll look for Skip, and I've talked to a few people across country,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
at night.
Go to Sideband, Channel 35. The other night I was talking to Australia.
Dude, I talked over there to the CB shop there the other day. I don't remember what day it was.
Yeah.
What day was that?
Shit, you're asking me? Hell,
Yeah, I'm asking you. It was me and you talking.
Yeah, no, I remember that, but no, I don't remember what day it was. But it's cool, isn't it? It's fun.
Yeah, it was like last week. Yeah.
And the more I listen to y'all, the more I'm really getting the urge to break out the gear out of the closet again.
Hell yeah, do it, man. That's
Yeah,
what it's all
yeah.
about. Is having
Wolfman's
fun.
yeah.
Get the dust
Chicken
off.
Hot Goes Wolfman. Yeah, Chicken Hot Goes Wolfman set up a bunch of my end dumps bellies with 29s. They do pretty good.
Dude, I'll
Yeah,
tell you
thanks,
what, and this is just my personal opinion, but dollar for dollar, a properly tuned Cobra 29 with a good antenna, dude, for everyday radio, you cannot outperform them.
Well,
Bang for buck. Bang for
I'll
buck.
tell you what. I carry the Uniden PC78, and that radio is double the power now of the Cobras. The new Cobras, you're lucky to get 6 watts out of them. They're junk. I don't even carry them in the shop anymore. But the older Cobras, for sure. Yeah, I agree with you. But once again, like we talked about, it's all about the antenna.
Hey, Kenny,
Yeah.
you was talking earlier about putting your Moonraker up. I used to have a 36-foot quad antenna on 80-foot crank-up tower, and I was at the highest point in Lafayette County up there. And I could talk down to Springdale, Arkansas with no skip, but that wasn't barefoot either.
Well, before I moved down to Florida here from Ohio, I had a tower up on my house. I was pushing about 120 feet on those Moonrakers. And it is a 6-element beam. I was running that off my big Heath kit and an RCI 2990 base station. And I tell you, there is nowhere I couldn't talk. That thing was just a monster.
Yeah, that's cool.
Hey, welcome in, Barto.
Hey guys.
I had a
What's
Graham
up?
D201A, and guy out in Kansas did some modifications to it for me a long time ago. It did keep 3 watts and swing 300, nothing but modulation. And I used that to drive I had 2 boxes hooked up, and I wish I had them today.
Hey, Jim,
You're in
do you know
Florida,
Motor
that
Mouth
guy?
Mall?
I don't know him, but yeah, I know of him.
Yeah, John Bartell. He's a good guy. And,
Yeah.
I've talked to him a bunch on the phone, and I haven't talked to him lately, but the last time I talked to him, he had a Cobra 29 LX, 5,000 watt dead key, swinging to 33,000.
Isn't that crazy?
And dude, he put his modulator in there that he built, and he's up there in Northern California, and he rotated his beam down here, and he talked to me one day at the shop, and it sounded like the way I sound right now. It was beautiful. I mean, he sounded just great.
Yeah,
John's
it's
a good
crazy.
guy.
I hate to pay his electric bill though.
He told me that every second he keys the mic, it's $5 in electricity.
Hey,
Isn't that crazy?
Most of it's solar,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Most of it's solar that he's doing.
Oh wow.
Oh, is
See,
it?
that's the only reason I don't put all my power back in my pickup truck on my CB stuff. If I was going to do that, I got to go buy more alternators and more batteries.
Well, that's even more fun, isn't it?
Hey,
Well, the mobile setup I got in my closet, it's a Delta Force radio backed up to I use a Killer B 350 high drive, Texas Star, driving into a Texas Star Sweet 16.
Okay, so you only need one alternator, one extra alternator.
Yeah, but those are expensive. Then I got to get a different belt, brackets, another battery.
Well, yeah,
hey, speaking about alternators,
you have to pay, brother.
that's right. You got to pay to play. Speaking about alternators, I had a good conversation earlier with Jim about his Jeep. And why don't you tell him about that alternator on that Jeep?
Oh, I bought so it's Jeeps is especially the one I got anyway. It's hard to get like Mech Man. They make a good alternator, but they only do it for Chevys. I think they do it for Fords now too, but I contacted this place out in California, and you're gonna laugh. It's called Power Bastards, and they built me a 320 alternator, and it's been going strong for going on 5 years now. And the cool thing is at idle, it's like 170, and then if you know a few more RPMs, I think at 1,000 RPMs, I think it's 320 that it puts out, and that's been a really good alternator. And it's a daily driver, so. What was that?
What was the name of it again? Power Bastards? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Yep, Power
That's what he
Bastards.
said.
That's what when the guy answered the phone, I'm like, oh shit, your guys' name's really that?
Well, see, that's another subject that we could cover on here. And I know, from personal experience, a lot of people, when they're trying to throw together CBs and their pickups or their semis, they want to run all this big power. They don't understand. You got to have the amperage to supply these boxes. Otherwise, you're never going to get them to perform right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and another thing too, the lithium technology is way better now. If I was going to run extra batteries, I would probably run a lithium system in there, just due to the fact that they can dump current way faster than a lead acid or a gel cell or a glass mat.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
I'll tell you a cool story. So me and my friend Chris, we run the RC drag cars. And they got the LiPo packs in them, brushless motors. And one of my cars pulled, I ran a 1.76 quarter mile at 86 miles an hour, and it pulled 312 amps.
Yeah,
An
they're
RC
pretty
car.
amazing.
Yeah. His new drag car, he just pulled over 500 amps the other day. He ran a 1.49, 100 miles an hour.
Good Lord.
Yeah, and he pulled 500 amps out of that thing. See, it's pretty cool. After you make a pass and you get back, you can plug in your laptop to the speed controller, and it shows you the ripple, the voltage drop, everything. And I was the first guy in the United States to run under 2. I ran 176, and I did it with the right size capacitors on it. Guys were putting 2 big caps on them, and what happened was it would recover the launch, but they would try to charge up as they're going down the track, and it would pull power away. So their caps were too big. So I figured out the right size caps for my car, my gearing, my motor, all that stuff, and I ran a 176.
Well, let me ask you this. This is more 307 would probably be able to answer this better than anybody. When I was over the road, I was running a Texas Star 667 in my rig with me. And every time I'd key it, you would notice a serious amp draw on my gauge on the dashboard. I put in one of those 1 farad capacitors like you use on car audio systems. And that seemed to help. But honestly, was I really doing anything for myself, or, is it just a fluke?
It just makes it easier on your electrical system. It pretty much just smooths out the initial draw of it.
Yeah, it just
So
smooths out the hit.
it doesn't hit as hard.
Okay.
Yeah, it just smooths out the hit.
Yeah, because they actually make, I can't even remember the size of them. They're huge. You can get big ones. And that's kind of like the new LiPo stuff or lithium. They're kind of like a cap because they can dump energy really fast and then they recover.
Yep.
Because I used to run a 2x12 in my Jeep, and then I had a C-Max 100 amp hour lithium back there, and that thing was wicked.
All right.
Well, here's the
I
rule of
didn't
thumb.
know if it did me any favors or not. I was just I had an idea and I tried it and it seemed to help. I didn't see that big surge when I was running the box and the semi on my gauge anymore after that. I didn't know if it really did anything.
It just kind of acts as a pad, and it you don't notice it as bad because it stores that energy right at the amp. So if you had a bigger one, they make some big ones or stacked a bunch of those together, you're basically going to build a battery that can dump amperage really quick. So by the time it smooths out, you don't really notice it as bad.
Yeah, it smooths out the ripple. So for a great example was my drag car. I would make a pass, come back, download the speed controller. Holy cow, it dropped by 3.5 volts on the launch. When I put the capacitor pack on it, it was dropping by 1/10 of a volt. It was almost perfect. And that just smoothed it out. But general rule of thumb, so if you're running a power supply at your house, you run a radio or an amp, or you're putting one in your car, if if that amp draws 100 amps, then you got to have a 200 amp power supply. Double it. And if you do
Okay.
that, I've never had trouble with it. What do you think about that, Jim?
Yeah, well, that's like, the bass amps and stuff, even the mobiles. We put the electrolytics in there, and it'll actually show a few more watts just because it doesn't hit either the power supply very much or the, your power supply or your truck. I mean, you'll actually see a little bit of gains on it.
Sure.
That guy, you said you was down here in Florida?
Yeah.
Where you at in Florida, brother?
East Coast, Fort Pierce area.
Oh, okay, Fort Pierce. I'm over here in St. Cloud.
Oh, okay. You're not too far from me.
Nope.
Man, this is cool, isn't it, guys? I love doing this stuff.
You all are talking about the alternators and stuff. I'm more worried about on my car running a box with it burning up the computer.
On my Jeep, I had I'd key up and it said all the tires were flat and the airbags came out, and I put ground bonding straps on all the doors, the hood, the back hatch, and all that went away.
I run the new President Washington in my car, and if I turn it up on high, it'll change my radio station.
Yeah.
I
It's
can only
probably not going to
imagine.
hurt the ECM. It's just going to make it go haywire.
I can only imagine running a 500 Texas Star in it, what would happen.
Well, and this is another issue. So I get a lot of these truck drivers in the shop with new trucks, and they want to put a 2 or a 4 pill in it. I'm like, you can't. You just can't. A guy came in one day with a Ranger N4, and he goes, every time I key up, all my gauges, the digital dash goes crazy, kicks out his cruise control. And I said, yeah, you just can't run that kind of power.
Hey, 307, where's a good suggestion to get some ground strap at?
ICA Manufacturing has it. Most auto parts stores, you can get a roll of it there. I know Napa has it.
Okay.
Yeah, I've even seen it on Amazon. You can get like a
my old Tahoe.
you can get a
Well,
long roll. I'm sorry, Jim. Go ahead.
Oh, if you guys go to do that, just to save you a lot of headache in the future, because some guys just clean the paint off and then just run a self-tapper through there. I think Harbor Freight has them, those pin nuts. Instead of like a rivet gun, you can put the pin nuts in there with threads.
Uh-huh.
And on mine, I just cleaned it up, drilled it, and then put the pin nut in there, and then used a 8/32 stainless machine screw with a little bit of what's it called? It's ox something. It's for electrical, so your stuff doesn't corrode.
Okay.
And put some of that on there and put it in there.
Deoxit?
Yeah, is that what it's called? It's gray.
Yeah, deoxit.
It's not anti-seize, it's ox something.
Yeah, deoxit, I think, is what you're talking about. But yeah, that'll work just fine.
Dielectric grease.
Well, this stuff here you still got conductivity through it.
Right.
Okay.
Well, just message me on Facebook there, 307, when you come up with the name of it.
Hang on, I'll find it.
Made him go wonder. Oh boy.
All right, it's Oxguard.
Oh, yeah.
Oxguard. Okay.
Yeah. But I started out that way, and of course we get a lot of snow and salt and stuff up here, and it was good to go. And I was driving down the road, keyed up, and I'm like, what the heck? Everything kind of went haywire, and it was all corroded. So I put that stuff on there a couple years ago, and haven't had any issues with it.
Where's up here? 307.
Wyoming.
Oh, okay.
Well, Jim, what did you think of the live?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun. It is really cool, and I just like helping people out. There's too many fractured fairy tales out there, and I just like
Too
to
many
set the
golden
record.
screwdrivers.
Well, there is. Yeah, they call them YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, YouTube
Oh.
technicians.
I got another good one for you guys that's got MFJ or Rig Expert analyzers.
Okay.
So if you live where you have a lot of static in your area, so like here usually it's pretty dry in the summertime too. We don't, static's pretty bad. Before you guys hook up to an antenna, short your center pin on your coax to the shield, because the Rig Expert is super sensitive to static, and it will blow that little chip out of those things.
Oh, that's nice to know. I didn't even know that.
I'm not too sure on the MFJ, but the Rig Experts, they are super sensitive to that.
Okay,
And
that's the one I
good,
have. The Rig Expert.
that's a good way to waste $200 or $300. Some static,
Oh,
kill
yeah.
that thing.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, out here in Edgewood where we live, especially if it gets windy and it's 2% humidity, your antenna will
Yep.
pick up static. And
Yep, that discharge will take that little surface mount capacitor out of there.
in a heartbeat.
I got one.
There's a video. If you go to my TikTok page, on the bottom it says disconnect coax. Click on that. That's the base station coax here. And
Yeah, I remember
sitting in
watching
the-
that video. That was insane.
Yeah. So I'm sitting here in my office doing paperwork, and all of a sudden I hear pop, 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 pop. What the hell? And I always disconnect my coax, my antenna, and hang it over the meter. That thing is sitting there arcing. I went outside just to look for a big nasty thunderstorm, and there wasn't one. It was just an overcast day, and no rain, no lightning. It was windy, and that coax sat there and arced like that for 45 minutes. And I got so
Oh,
many
wow.
comments. Yeah, I got so many comments. Oh, you don't have your antenna grounded right. I'm like, it's 6-foot hole in the fucking ground. What more do you want? Like, I don't, it's 6 feet in the ground, man. But it wasn't that. It was the ground planes picking it up.
Just
Wow.
atmospheric static.
That's right. Yep.
All right, gentlemen, I'm going to have to drop off here again. I'm about to make a whole lot of noise. So, once again, it was an absolute pleasure talking with you, gentlemen, and I'll catch you on the next live.
Oh, it was a pleasure
All
having
right,
you
you
on,
have a good
sir.
night.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, have a good
70
one.
degrees.
I'll be ready and willing and waiting to hear you over here in Sunflower.
I got one for you, 307.
Yeah.
I've got the MFJ antenna analyzer.
I'll be right back.
And if I put my hand over the top of it where the coax screws in, it'll raise the SWR. It will actually
Really?
raise the SWRs when I do that.
Let's see. What kind of coax you got?
LMR 400.
By chance is the shield soldered?
It was factory made, so I couldn't tell you
Is
right
it-
off.
It does it look like it has a crimp on it? Like back, not below the barrel connector?
No.
It's a soldered on end, then? Is that what it is? That's
Yeah,
what
well,
it is.
usually they'll when they crimp that, they'll put a black heat shrink over it, and you can kind of see the octagon where they crimped it.
I can't see it on there.
Yeah, sometimes that almost sounds like it's looking for ground if it changes your SWR when you touch it.
Well, and my buddy of mine here in town, he's got one just like mine, and his does the
Yeah.
same thing.
You could also check in there. Now, is it just if you touch it or if you wiggle it, does it do anything?
Nope, just when you lay your hand on top. But mine does it, and then that buddy of mine here in town, his does it too.
I wonder if I've never messed with an MFJ. I wonder if that's something with those meters. I did have a customer that had one, and one of he took it apart. One of the connections, I don't know if it was the ground or the center pin, was loose. It had a cracked solder joint right where it goes to the board.
Yeah.
So you might check that, but I don't know. I
That's
never really ran into that.
That's 2 in 1 there. So that sounds weird, man.
Yeah, we thought it was kind of odd that both of them did that.
Yeah.
Is that just you putting your hand on it, or is that with putting a coax in it?
No, that's just with my laying my hand up on top of it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, with the coax not connected?
No, with the coax connected, if I lay my hand up anywhere close to the top, not around the coax, but beside it, then it'll raise the SWR.
Huh. That's weird.
Yeah. We thought it
Is
was,
that
especially for both of them.
Bad shielding on the coax.
That's what I was thinking. He said he had LMR 400.
Well, that doesn't make sense, man. Or there's a bunch of static on them or something, but LMR 400 shouldn't do that. But, you can put your hand up close to the base of the antenna, and sometimes you can watch the SWR drop. That tells you right there you got a bad RF ground, right? So,
Right.
Yeah, if you're doing that with the coax, I just wonder if there was maybe static on his hand, on his body,
Yeah, that's weird. Because, well, I did have, a customer had one issue like that. I was telling you about that earlier.
Yeah.
It was crimped in coax. The center pin was soldered. And he had one of and it was just a little 4-pill. And he sent me pictures of it. And I don't know what made me think of it. And I was like, just for the heck of it, send me a picture of the coax connectors. And it had arced across the connectors because it was looking for ground. And he sent me his coax, and I literally touched the tip of that end with the soldering iron and pulled the connector off. The ground braid was not even connected.
Okay, yep. I just looked at the coax, and they are crimped with the black shielding around them.
I wonder, how old a coax is it?
Probably maybe 6 months.
Because see, his broke up at the antenna, and I don't know if he had it fastened or if it was kind of flopping.
Well,
but that was the bad end, where it was like all the crimps had where they crimped it. It was just like it cut the shield off.
Well, I'm thinking that it's in the MFJ itself, because even checking the antenna on my car, it'll do the same thing.
Yeah, that could be it too. And if you're not are you having any transmit issues or anything?
No.
Yeah, it might be in that MFJ.
Yeah, it's just odd that both his MFJ and my MFJ do the same thing.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I'm pretty stickler about is I don't like crimp connections. I solder everything.
Yeah, especially if you're running an amp.
Yeah. Yep, always solder everything. I don't like crimp connectors on nothing. Putting crimp connectors on LMR 400 is like the Walmart scope on a 308. You're going to limit the gun with the scope, right? Same thing. I use the same analogy with antennas, like that gentleman earlier. He's got a nice radio and he's got Francis antennas. Come on, man. One thing you don't skimp on is antennas or coax. And
that's the most
just
important
like
part of your radio.
Well, like Chicken Hawk said, you can have a Cobra 29 radio, but we got the good antennas on it and they work great. So you can make any radio great with a good antenna. But yeah, definitely put some soldered PL259s on it. I think you'll be happier.
Yeah. I was going to do a video on my YouTube channel because I've got a bunch of guys that say you can't solder 400.
Why not?
Because they melt it.
Yeah, they get it too hot. Well, there's a couple things that do that. And I saw the same thing in the RC car scene. So when we're building these drag cars, they're running pretty heavy gauge wire, right? But, excuse me, these guys are using soldering guns that are 10 watts from Walmart. And you can't do that. So like minimum, you want like an 80-watt gun, right? But then you don't want to turn the temperature up all the way either. You don't have to. So if you tin both ends and you put them wires together, all you got to do is touch it. Poof, you're done. And you
Yep.
could literally grab the insulation right next to the solder joint, and it's not even warm. So
Yeah, I think that's where a lot of guys get in trouble. They don't tin the shield first, and then they put their end on there, and now they're cooking it to death trying to get it to take solder.
yeah, they're using the wrong wattage soldering gun. It's too low. So when they got that low wattage soldering gun, what do? They just keep the tip on it, and they sit there, and they sit there, and they sit there, and it melts everything.
Yep.
Coax is an extremely good heat sink. Right? I mean, it'll pull the heat out of a cheap gun in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I've got a couple different guns at the shop. One's a Weller, the digital one, and it works pretty good. And then one day I was just messing around and I saw this cheap gun. It's an 80 water on eBay, Chinese. And I thought, hell, it's a whole station. It was like $45. I said, what the hell? I'll buy it. And it works good. It's been in there 2 years now. I've been using that.
Well, the
And
one I
yeah,
use for coax, I've got a Weller. It's a 100 watt, but it's actually, you're gonna laugh. It's actually for stained glass, and it's got a nice big tip on it. Works good for the shield because it doesn't take long for it to take it.
perfect. Yeah, I use my Weller with the big blade on it to do the shielding. And then I have my other gun at a lower temp with the little pointy tip, and that's what I use to do the center. And it works perfect.
Yep.
Well, hey
CJ
guys.
looks bored out of his mind.
Yeah, he looks tired.
No, I'll show you what I'm doing.
He's like, I'm going to turn the camera off.
Damn old Papa Smurf
No.
anyway.
No, I'm playing a video game over here.
Got you. Just messing with you, brother.
No, it's all good.
Oh, I know you are.
No, it's all good. Yeah. And if we don't give people shit here, then it's no fun.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm going to get me a Texas Longhorn, and I'm going to get me an 8 kill up there from 307. I'm going to put on a Francis antenna. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I got some Walmart coax. I'll send you too.
Perfect. That'll match. But no, it's all about having fun. And so
Oh yeah.
I do these videos, like I said, just to educate people, set them in the right path, help them out, and to have fun. Radio is supposed to be fun. And, all the years that I've been on the radio, I've only ever had to use it one time to save someone's life. But you know what? It worked.
That's right.
And thank God for that. But other than that, I mean, we just have a blast. And let's just have fun. That's what it's all about. We made a bunch of new friends tonight. Let's have fun.
Heck yeah.
So, guys, I think with that said, we're going to have to go 10-7 here. I got to get something to drink, use the restroom. And this was a blast. Guys, thank everybody so much for being on here. I really do appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah,
And
this was fun.
yet it was. And Jim,
Yeah.
I want to
Thanks, Jason.
thank. Oh, you're welcome. No, I want to thank you, Jim. Thanks for the opportunity of working with my shop. And I'm so excited, man. I can't wait to, pretty much what we do is endless, Jim. We can do so many different paint jobs, lasers, whatever. And man, let's just have fun with it. We can do custom for anybody.
Yeah. Yep,
No,
that's the cool part.
It is the cool part. I remember when I was a kid in the shop building race cars with my dad. He said, "Jay, if you got a welder and a torch, you can do anything. It's your imagination. Just do it." And so let's just do it. I believe it was Einstein said, if a person is capable of thinking of something, they're capable of doing it.
Yep.
So let's do it. Hey, Papa Smurf, you have a good night, sir. Thank you for being on
You
here.
have a good night too, brother. Hey,
Have a
CJ,
good
nice
one.
meeting you, brother. 307.
You two guys have a good
brother.
night.
Yeah, have a good one.
Well, you guys have a
Always
good
a
night.
pleasure talking at you, brother.
Yeah, you too.
Jesse, nice meeting you. Barto, have a good evening, brother.
Yeah, you too.
Y'all take care.
All right. Now
Yeah,
good
you
night.
guys take care
Right.
too. And I'll try to make it back in on the morning. And whether I do or don't, we'll be on again tomorrow night. And I just want to say thank you to everybody. God bless. And 73s.
73s to you guys.
73s out
Hey,
there.
guys.
I like my little noise toy. All right, guys. Y'all have a good night.
All right.
Later.
Peace out.
Later.
See ya.